What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
Manny, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on.
Dude, it's an absolute pleasure. We were speaking just a moment ago. I said, let's not do any pre-show conversation because dang it, I think this is all going to be some pretty good quality stuff. So let's just start right away, man. I just said to you a minute ago, such a pleasure to have you on here, dude. I've been watching you a long time. Not in a weird way, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. And same goes to you. Like I said, I've been watching you since COVID, man, because it was a hard time,
dude.
Man. You were one of the bright lights that shed those dark clouds away, and I really appreciate what you did. But it was entertaining, and I think that's all we care about, right? As like videographers or whatever you want to call us, is that we just want to entertain.
That's it. Because I feel like, I get so much out of the hobby of action figures. I want to make that more of a thing. Just buying and posing action figures. That's one thing. But if you can actually turn it into just an interactive kind of thing that you do, make a community out of it, that's just so cool.
Yeah. And plus, you and I, one of the reasons why I like you too is because you're very energetic. It's just like me. I'm just a ball of energy. So
yeah, man, absolutely.
That's magnetic to a lot of people. It could, I learned that it can push people off too. Yeah. But we all gravitate to whoever we relate to, who speak like us.
I feel that way sometimes too. If anything, I need to remind myself to slow down a little bit and relax, because I realize a lot of the podcasts and things I listen to, they chat. They're not presenting, they're just hanging out, and it's nice. Right. And I think sometimes, man, it could probably get exhausting. Listen to me go on for a while.
Same thoughts I had about myself.
Yeah, it's funny. A buddy of mine, he said, "Oh, normally, when I'm going to sleep, I'll just put on one of your shows in the background." And I'm like, "Dude, how can you possibly fall asleep with me giving it all that?" But hey, whatever works for you. I'm a cure for insomnia, so that's great.
Yeah.
But dude, do you have any kind of public speaking background, or you performer or anything, or is it just born with the gift of the gab?
Born with the gift of the gab. And also I used to go to school for journalism too, so
oh, good stuff.
I always like to speak, but in handwriting, because I love to write. And for me, I was just well, let me speak. Let me speak too, because I want to speak as well as I write. So I think we all speak the way we write, right? Yeah,
absolutely. I know that on a much smaller scale, I text the way I speak.
Right.
So you will know when you talk to me over text and then talk to me in person. It's oh, this is the same way you communicate.
Right.
And I find that really hard when I text with people who don't text the way they talk, and they're very blunt and matter of fact. And I'm like, are you mad at me? And they're like, no, man, I'm just conveying information. That's what text is for. I'm like, oh, you and I have very different ideas.
Yeah. Just a gift of gab. I mean, it was just. Plus, I used to do sales too, so that also helped
that's
with
what it
my
is.
career in sales. Even though I don't do that anymore, because man, it is exhausting. It is exhausting talking all the time and staying energetic. I give props to those salesmen and even trainers that they gotta have that energy to train.
Yeah. Oh no, that's it. I used to be a personal trainer, and man, 90% of that is sales, and just it just became too much, because I don't mind hustling. I enjoy that, but I don't like having to rely on sort of selling things to other people. It's that's where YouTube is great, because pretty much it's down to you. All you can do is just put your show out there, and people can either watch it or not. So really, the only hustling is how hard you want to work on what you're doing.
Right. And for me, it was one of those things where I don't know, I have integrity. I couldn't look at a 90-year-old woman and try to rip her off on something. You know what I mean? That's what I'm like, no, I can't do this. I do find some of my sales tactics, not I don't want to say tactics, but kind of
sales techniques,
yeah, like in my
approaches.
videos, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I don't want to sell to you. I'm not telling you what to do with your money or anything. I would never tell anyone what to do with their money. You spend it the way you want. I guess my mentality in sales was like, when I pushed, it was like more like, don't sell like a seller, sell like a friend, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you want to engage in a bit of a rapport, and
Right.
and yeah, that was why I was always terrible at sales, because I would never make a sale and then walk away going, "Well, I've made a friend."
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
hopeless.
focused on, the rapport. Yeah.
So dude, how long have you been creating video content for?
Not long. Like near the end of 2018. That's when I really started. For the longest, I had like an Instagram. Like 2014. That's where I really started my platform, and it was just taking pictures, sharing my hobby. I love photography, so I'm like, I want to share, my love of the hobby on a platform. And it was just silly because like I would take these pictures and I would text like all my friends and I'd be like, dude, what do you think? Like, oh, that's great, right? But then after a while, they're like, all right, dude, come on, you're gonna have to get an Instagram. You can't keep blowing my phone up with your pictures. Like, just put it on Instagram. I'll follow you and I'll check all the pictures there. And I was like, okay. I wasn't really a social media person. I really wasn't. I didn't have Facebook. I didn't have Instagram or any of the social media platforms that were around at that time. And I was just like, I don't know if that's really for me, but I really wanted to share my art and my creativity and my passion. So I was like, all right, let me do that. Let me just try it out, right?
Yeah.
Never thought it would blow up the way it did. People started like really liking my work, and I learned a lot of photography along the way, especially being in ACBA. That platform really helped me develop to be a stellar photographer too. So I give kudos there. And even before ACBA, the discovery of ACBA, I was always like taking photos of my figures.
Absolutely. And that's something it took me a long time to kind of get into, or sort of realize, or sort of appreciate how enjoyable it is. Like when you actually do snap some nice pics. And it wasn't until I got into the social media side with Facebook and different Marvel Legends groups and stuff, that brought out a whole new element.
Right. I guess I always had that idea in mind because growing up, my brother's 10 years older than me, and he grew up hardcore G.I. Joe fan. That rubbed off on me. And when I looked at all those G.I. Joes, when we looked at all those promo images, even commercials, it had that ACBA element of dioramas and, big sceneries. And that's when I was like, I always had that like idea in mind that I always wanted to do that with action figures. So that just kind of, I guess I just followed towards that and made it, a reality for myself. And I made it a hobby out of it. So, and it was just, it's just amazing. It's an amazing hobby.
And was it predominantly, it was Marvel Legends that kind of sort of caught your attention, or is it more like a wider range?
Well, yeah, like a wider range. I mean, obviously the articulation from Marvel Legends inspired me more, like, because of what I can do. Like, I used to collect those 5-inch, the vintage figures from Toy Biz. They were like 5 POA, right? 5 points of articulation. Couldn't really do much with them. And when they started rolling out, Toy Biz started rolling out, like, the higher end premium articulation with the butterfly joints, double jointed elbows, knees. They started off before Marvel Legends. I think it was X-Men Classics, Spider-Man Classics. They had like a few spin-off lines before it evolved to Marvel Legends. And I was just blown away because I'm like, this is what I wanted to do with action figures. I want to make them move like I can move.
Absolutely.
So when Marvel Legends, started, I collected from the very beginning, 2002. It's been 20 years, hell of a ride.
Oh, you were in on the ground floor there.
Yeah, and you know what? I looked at it because I wanted, like, when they were doing X-Men Classic, Spider-Man Classic, I was like, man, I just want a line where it's like everything: Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the whole nine. And then that's when they introduced Marvel Legends. And for some reason, I was just keeping them in box until Series 4, when Gambit came out and Punisher, and I was just like, I couldn't open anymore. That Gambit, man. I opened it. That's it. It was a done deal, and I opened the rest, and yeah.
Yeah, that Gambit, like he's one of those ones that really that figure has aged like wine, man. That's still a really nice action figure. Yeah, I think the Gambit and Wolverine were the only two early Toy Biz ones that I had, and yeah, both of them, because I mean, Toy Biz is so funny. They're so hit and miss with like it's either incredible or horrifying,
right?
you know? But yeah, those are absolutely terrific. You said you wanted to like get the wide range of different Marvel characters. Do you have like a particular, like, are you an X-Men guy? Are you a Spider-Man guy, or is it everything?
It's all of Marvel.
X-Men is a safe bet.
X-Men, obviously, the name XManny, comes from X-Men, and that is my forever will be my thing. I always say it will always be my thing. But Spider-Man is my favorite superhero in Marvel. So obviously Spider-Man. Fantastic Four is my second favorite group next to X-Men and Marvel, and then Avengers. Everything. I love everything about Marvel, man. Even the smaller scale underworld stuff that people don't even know about.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's why Legends are so great, because it's everything. And I mean, we say good things about them, we say bad things about them. Then there's a lot of good and bad things to say. But oh my goodness, to get characters like Phage and the most off the wall characters.
The Foundation, the Life Foundation. Man. It's awesome. Even when they revealed the freaking Human Fly, I'm just like.
Dude, perfect example. In 2022, we're getting a brand new Human Fly figure. Like,
right?
What?
I can talk crap about it. Oh man, it's on the Bucky Cat mold, and then I'm just like, but I'm getting the Human Fly. It's just that appreciativeness. I'm a very appreciative person. A lot of people don't maybe they don't realize that, because I might talk crap on camera about it. Oh, it's on the Bucky Cat mode, but inside, I appreciate that they made the character,
Yeah, that's a really difficult thing I find with making my videos. Is one of the nicest things that I'll always love so much is that the most feedback I got when I first started was, dude, you're so positive. We're going through 2020, which is awful. You really bring me up. And I'm like, I love that so much. So I really felt bad about talking trash about anything, because I didn't want to. I didn't want to bring negativity. And then when I do get comments saying oh man, it's such a shame. I come to you to feel good, and I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to be honest. It's tough.
That's really where tough. I'm at. That's where I'm at. I was, I'll admit, I was that Hasbro fanboy that was defending everything. And then I was like, and then I realized, well, I got to be honest with myself here. You know what I mean? If there's something that's perpetual behavior, like the fact of reuse parts, I get it. Mm-hmm. It's a business practice, right? I get it. That's how they make more characters. But at the same time, it's don't overkill it. Don't get to the point where it's just overkilling. We're getting fatigued from it. You know what I mean? We want all new sculpts. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They can do it.
Yeah, I think it gets a little bit egregious when they're using sculpts past their use-by date. Like when they, my big salty review a while ago was Retro Spider-Man 2099, which was my fault for buying it. But it's I mean, it broke instantly. And I'm like, well, that's because this is a sculpt from 7-8 years ago. They shouldn't be putting that out brand new on the shelves.
I was getting a lot of shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if
No, that's okay. We're a bit more loosey-goosey with these ones.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. I made this post a few days ago or yesterday. Whatever it was, I lost track. But it was, the Hazlab Ghost Rider, which I'm sure we'll talk more of.
Oh, yeah.
And it's $350. We know the price is steep. That's the reality. It's expensive. And when I showed that the Ghost Rider figure was reusing parts arms and legs from
Dude.
the long shot figure that's coming in the Mojo pack.
I saw that post.
People were defending the reused parts. I'm like, then you're part of the problem too. Like I can't. I'm sorry, for $350, it should be all new sculpt, uniquely just bound to that project that we'll never get again. And people were defending it. Oh, we got reused parts for Silver Surfer in the Hazlab Galactus tier and Sentinel's bag. Okay, those were tiers. We're not talking about tiers. Yeah. We're talking about the main highlight. Oh, the main highlight is the car. Dude, the main character is just as important as the car. It's the main. They're both the main highlights. Is if we go by your logic, then it's just like, then Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider would be a tier. Can you imagine them offering you the car without Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider from the
while we're at it, you know what grinds my gears is people say, oh yeah, but that price, Hasbro are factoring in all the tiers. And it's like, no, the offer is $350 for the car and the figure. That's it. No early bird, nothing. If you get other tiers, that's a bonus. Maybe Hasbro, I'm sure, would love nothing more than to just give you those two. So they are not planning. So what happens if we don't hit any tiers, but it does get funded? Well, congratulations, you just bought a $350 one figure in a car. Boom.
Right.
Hasbro will contact you and go like, hey, look, we actually budgeted for other tiers. So, since we're cool, here you go, have them anyway. No, they're not. They're going to pocket that and go, thanks very much.
Exactly. They could have made it cheaper. Obviously, they could have made it cheaper. I look at the Hazlab Transformers Star Saber, which I backed. It was $175. I wasn't trying. I'm like, I made sure, like, I went back, checked my receipt. $174.99. They kept it under $200.
Yeah.
I'm like, I expected Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, if they were going to make that car, to be $175 to $215 max, or $250 pushing it max. I was just like,
it's like, are you freaking?
Yeah, you compare the Sentinel and Galactus to the car.
Well,
you're
that's
gonna be
another
like,
thing I kind of thought to myself, like, well, can you justify it? Like, there's moving parts and stuff. And then I thought, hang on a second, dude, a PS5 costs like $500, and that involves chips and technology and machinery and electronics and data and mining and like
encryption circuitry. And
it's like, that's only like $150 more than this piece of plastic. It's like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely.
Look, by first glance, right, put the price aside, all that stuff aside, it looks incredible. It looks beautiful. It's so good. It's so toyetic, right? It's like,
I said, for me, translucent, boom. It's just like, that does it for me.
The interchangeability is going to be so much fun, especially for like an ACBA guy like me with photography. I'm going to display both street mode and Hellfire mode. It's just a lot of fun, but not having alternate hands, things like that, really just, when you look deep into it, it's just like,
because again, even the early bird Robbie Reyes, nah, man, that should have just been an alternate head. He doesn't need a different body. That could have just been an alternate head you throw in there.
I get looking at his street clothes and stuff, because it is good to display that kind of Robbie Reyes with the street mode car, right? Because it wouldn't make sense to display Ghost Rider in his full Ghost Rider form in the car that's not on fire, right? So I get it. Actually, let me look at where it is in the Hazlab now that you got me thinking, because that has until like this Friday to get back.
I think it's this Friday. I haven't even checked the Pulse website, so I don't know what numbers they're up to yet, but I would be intrigued.
So it is. We're at 39,032 backers. Excuse me, 39,000. 3,932 backers. Sorry.
I thought we were just breaking news of the world's most successful Hazlab there.
Right.
All our moaning and Hazlab.
I'm like, wait, where's all the tiers? And it needs 9,000 by Friday. It should have hit 4,500 to be on pace over the weekend.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna hit that early bird.
obviously with proper full-on deadlines, there's always a surge at the end, but for early bird deadlines we don't really have much data for that, I guess, so we it's hard to tell, because the his tank pretty much was just an overnight success. That just
it's an army builder. The early
Boom.
bird, they put an army builder as an early bird in an army builder project. It's gonna hit it. But who knows comes Friday, it might spike up, who knows.
Oh, absolutely.
But, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict the future.
no, man. If we did, I'd be asking for the lottery numbers. It is. Yeah. But I've got to admit, and I've said this like up front on my channel, because I have some certain rules. One of them is always be honest. The other one is don't do too much research, and the third is don't edit much, just keep it simple. But the honesty one is, I was like,
I need that third one. I need that.
Yeah. Get out of here. The main thing is don't work too hard. But I said, like, look, I'm gonna be griping and moaning and schwitzing about this thing, but I might back it. Just so that I can, again, it's playing the old YouTuber card. It's like, well, I gotta be a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
But if I do, this might be like next level pettiness on my part, or it could be me trying to make a stand. I will actually contact someone who does genuinely want it, and I'll be like, dude, I'll buy it. I'll do the review, and then like just buy it off me for cost.
Yeah,
that's fine, because I don't particularly. I'm a classic Marvel guy. I'm not a modern Marvel guy, so I don't need the Hell Charger. So I'll put it to a good home. That way, I just feel like I'm not rewarding Hasbro for doing this. Someone who's going to buy it anyway will still get it. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, old school Marvel fans, I understand. I'm a fan of both the old school and the new school. Some of the new school, some, not all. But like Robbie Reyes, like for me, I'm Hispanic. That's a Hispanic character. That means a lot. Like the fact that they revealed a Hispanic character during Hispanic Heritage Month to be part of like a Hazlab project that big. That resonates with me. That means a lot, especially to like my Hispanic peers and friends. Like we're talking about, like, dude, we got our representation. That's awesome. Like it's really, really cool. And so like, I know some people are just backing it just because he's Hispanic. Not that they know that Ghost Rider, but the ones that really do, they're fully invested. And
definitely.
Look, man, doesn't matter whether you're Hispanic or not. If this project is for you, back it. Obviously, if you want it,
totally.
I'm never gonna shame anyone for like wanting something that they like.
Absolutely.
So, the Hazlab, we can bitch and moan and all that stuff of the pros and cons and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like, I guess I'm just like a little kid at heart trying to live his dreams. Like we're actually seeing stuff like this getting made, even if it doesn't fun, just the idea, the possibility of it. It was just like, man, that's
it is.
pretty cool.
I mean, kind of like we were saying before about the unusual characters. I mean, dude, we got Null action figure. We've got all these different things. Because again, even though I only collect sort of classic characters now, I love the modern ones. I just ran out of space. That's all.
Right.
But characters like Superior Octopus, and you would have never got that. So it is. It's a golden age, man. It's a golden age.
It really is, man. People out there can say that they hate the Hazlab formula and what it does. I understand it, but at the same time, just look at the pros to it, because we get to speak with our wallets. Yeah. Like if this doesn't fun, it actually makes them wake up and be like, oh crap, well, we gotta shape up.
Absolutely.
Look what it did with Star Wars.
Yeah,
2 failed Hazlabs
only took them 2 failures to hopefully buck up their ideas.
They're like, they're 2 for 2. No, 2 for 4, because the sail barge funded and the Razor Crest.
That was it.
So, Black Series from that point on, the 6-inch line, they gotta go back to the drawing board or wherever and really reassess what they're doing, because I'll be honest with you, man, I quit Star Wars Black Series. I didn't like the direction they were going in. I didn't. How did I enjoy these figures, you know, with double jointed elbows and knees, and now cutting back to just single jointed elbows and knees. And
it's
it's a downgrade. You're supposed to upgrade, not downgrade.
It's a bit scary when you do see some things that you feel like are a regression. You know, I was just reviewing the Retro Apocalypse. I'm like, man, this is a step back.
I was watching some of your review. I know I got to the part where you were talking about the paint, actually, right before I hopped on here.
Okay.
I don't know what else you said after that, but it's like, I know the paint just stopped at the head, and then the rest of the body was just bland.
Yeah, and it's such a shame because the base body, the sculpting, I mean, this stuff's great, you know, looks really, really good, but you lose it all because it just looks cheap without like a bit of a wash or a bit of a dry brush. I'm looking
maybe like a metallic blue. Maybe they could have added like some metallic sheen to it, just to make it pop.
Similarly, because it is based on the cartoon,
that's armor, so armor's supposed to pop
a sheen, and also things like his. If you are going to base it on the cartoon, because this is one thing that's always really funny. Like it was Hobgoblin that reminded me. If it's like a cheaper way of doing the figure, the answer will be, well, we've made it cartoon accurate. And if it's like an expensive thing to do to the figure, it's like, oh well, it's not perfectly. We're not trying to be perfectly cartoonish. Because watching the Apocalypse in the X-Men cartoon, like his hands are completely different. There's different silver on them. There's more color.
Right.
That would have made the whole thing more interesting. But instead, they were like, you know what, lads? I'm pretty sure we can reuse these hands. Let's just.
Yeah.
The children won't notice. The problem is their customers aren't children. They're middle-aged dudes with income.
Yeah, I'm sure no kids are gonna beg their parents for a Hazlab $350. They're gonna be like, "What?
The what charger?"
Exactly. The Hell Charger. It's funny they didn't name it that. I think I know why. Probably because they couldn't get the license for Dodge.
That's what I was hearing, because I'm not a car dude. That would have gone straight over my head. But then everyone was saying it's not a Dodge Charger exactly.
Right. And some people are like so mad for the title. Like, the Engine of Vengeance, he's not a Spirit of Vengeance. I know, but if you go back and read the initial Robbie Reyes run, the title was called Engines of Vengeance. So they just went off of that. It's a marketing thing. You know what I mean?
We're being comic accurate.
Exactly. Yeah. I know it's not.
Does it happen to be cheaper as well? Well, maybe.
Yeah, I know it's not a real Dodge Charger. It would have been nice though if it had some die-cast parts, just to give it more of that. One, to add more to the value, and like the silver parts, I felt like should have been chrome. I don't know what they have against using chrome. I felt like the Silver Surfer in the Galactus tier should have been a chrome deco. Like, I want my Silver Surfer looking like he's cosmic, like, you know,
right?
Like, I want it feeling like, yeah, that's the Silver Surfer in front of me. If I met him in person, he'd be shiny as hell.
Yeah. It is talking about like the metal pieces, the die cast, all that kind of stuff. I got so many pictures from people on Instagram just to show me like, hey Dave, here's a die cast Dodge Charger on eBay. Here's another company that's made like a 1/10 scale or a 1/18 scale. It's like it's not impossible to do. So yeah.
We could blame inflation all we want and stuff, but.
And that's always the tricky thing. I mean, that's inflation, isn't it? So companies are saying, hey, look, we got to charge more because of inflation. And we're like, well, our wages are not going up at the same rate as inflation, dude. So we can't buy these because, if anything, they are the most luxurious of luxury products. You know?
Yeah. And that's what it is. Like, this stuff is, it's a luxury. It's not a necessity, you know? They make it end, October 31st. They make it end, or the day after, like, freaking my rent is due. And like, you know, like, it's like one of those things, like, dude, if it comes down to me needing to eat or getting this Hazlab, man, I'm going to eat. I'm not going to starve.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not cheap when it comes to my food.
There was a story in the UK that made the papers the other week because a morning show, you got like Regis and Kathy Lee, that kind of thing. We got our own one. They had a call-in game show where the winner could win their heating bills paid for a year. And it's like, what kind of dystopian bullshit is this? Call in, loyal citizen. You may have your heating paid for. It's like, no luxury holiday, no speedboat. No, you won't freeze to death if you win the freaking Hunger Games in the UK. Like, that's where we are now.
That's hilarious.
Hazlab, you might want to check yourself.
Yeah, I mean, they're literally, it ends the 31st, and they're charging the 1st of November.
Yeah, boom.
My phone bill's due, my rent is due, all my big bills are due, and it's just like.
Well, what I did recommend, what I did recommend to folks is like, look, just put your order in. See what the tiers are. If you don't like them, just because I don't know what assurances Hasbro have against that. Like, what if they announce all the tiers and then half the backers pull out? It's like, well, you still guaranteed those tiers. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's I had that same thought like many years ago. Is that if everyone just backed, because they don't charge you obviously now, it's hassle free. There's no restocking fee. You can just cancel. Just back it to see all the tiers, and then once they're revealed, then just back out, and that shows them a lesson if it's if they are indeed like crap.
It's funny because we've got Comic-Con at the interestingly, London Comic-Con is that weekend, the end of October. And the Marvel Legends team are going to be there, apparently. So I was really excited about that. I got a weekend pass so I can go and sort of see that. But now after all this trash we're talking, I'm going to be like, hey lads, look, that wasn't personal. Like, be like,
they know it's not personal. They actually have a tough skin when it comes to like, taking criticism.
You have to, because I'm so cognitive. I don't know what the word is. I'm so aware of that because I never want to shout out people, because it's not people. It's company. It's financial directors. It's CEOs. It's not the dudes that we see on Hazlab. Right. They're just going to put a brave face on this.
Yeah, and they're just hell. They don't even have like whatever, like a degree for like being on TV and presenting stuff, like that's not really part of their job description, but they're doing it to share it with us, degree, bachelors, whatever. I don't know. You get what I'm talking about. Like they didn't go to school to be on TV.
That's why I'm always like, hey Hasbro, if you need a professional presenter, like I'm right here.
They're not professional presenters, exactly. They're not like that. They're just doing what they're told, and it just sucks to see them getting attacked.
It's the worst, man. It is. I really hate that. So I always try and make it so abundantly clear. It's like, I'm complaining about a corporation. I'm complaining about prices, and like and that's it. Because we're all human beings. And actually, it was really sweet. I was doing a live stream a while ago, and I had this new system software that I don't use anymore because it's too complicated, but it would flash up the name of someone when they subscribe to your channel. And it said, Brian Ting has subscribed. And everyone was like, oh, I bet, wouldn't it be funny if that was actually Brian Ting? And I was like, oh, yeah, that would be weird. I'd feel really awkward if actually he watched the show. And then I was like choosing my words really carefully. But then I said, like, hey, look, for example's sake, if it was Ryan Ting, like, what would you ask him if it was? And then when we finished the live stream about an hour later, I got an Instagram message from Ryan Ting going, oh, yeah, that was me. I was like,
yeah, like I tell people, they're watching us. Dude, they're watching us. Like, that's how they get a lot of their ideas and inspirations, what to do, what not to do. And again, they're in a tough spot. They're in a tough spot because Ryan and Dan, they're marketing. Their job is just to sell that stuff to us, right? They're not making up the prices. Dwight is lead design. It's not just him that's doing the design. There's other people, and he doesn't make the prices. There's a bunch of teams, and I don't want anyone here. I don't want anyone to say, "Oh, well, they do this or they stop." Like, you don't know their job details. You don't know what goes behind the scenes. We can't.
No,
if that's the case, if you know, then go interview for his job position and try to take his job and see if you get it, bro. Good luck, and let me know how that goes. You know,
that's it exactly. But yeah, of course, like if the Hasbro bigwigs came to them and said, okay, like, you know, we're doing this new human fly figure. You got a budget of $100 million. Go nuts. Give them electronic remote controlled wings. Of course, they'd be like, absolutely, we'll do that. But they don't. They get given their brief, and that's what they got to do. So yeah, more power to him, man. More power to him.
Yeah, but you know, the Hazlab, there's like just the pros and cons to it, man. I did watch one of your videos too. It messed me up when you pointed out the Robbie Reyes torso swivel breaks up the pattern design, and I'm like, I don't know why I didn't realize that at first. That's something I should pick up right away, but you know, I was just caught up in so much. There's just so much going on, right? So much offerings and trying to focus on that I'm like, oh my God, you're right. Why didn't they put a ball jointed waist swivel to have that layered over and not break the sculpt?
I tell you
things
what,
like
I
that.
mean,
I was just like, what?
The answer to that is because they don't think they need to. That's why we gotta tell them that you gotta, like you said, man, vote with your wallets. Vote with your wallets. Make it clear. Like, you got that's why I said not in a mean-spirited way. I'd be happy if it fails, because that's us saying you gotta do better. You gotta try harder. Because Star Wars are hopefully learning that lesson. Hopefully other ones will as well. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I don't want to go too harsh and say I hope it fails and stuff, but if it does, then it's just like, hey, lesson learned. You know, the best teacher is failure. So hopefully we get better stuff. You know, I learned, you know, all the stuff I learned and got better in my life is through failure. So, you know, you come back better and stronger. And I just hope, you know, I always want nothing but the best, right? We all do. We all want like the best.
Exactly. No one likes being mad, or if they do, then you know you can go do that by yourself, buddy. I don't want to do that.
Right.
You want to be happy. You want to be excited, and I mean, like, every single day I stare at my Sentinel in the display case, and he is freaking beautiful. My only regret is that I didn't buy 2 of them. You know, it's like if I had known how much I would have loved that guy. Same like when Galactus hits, man, that is just going to be a game changer.
Oh, I know. I got the email that he's shipping soon, and I just can't imagine like that. That's the dream project for me right there. Like, you know, next to the X-Men Blackbird for me. But I just looking at the Sentinel, like I have him displayed as Master Mold.
Nice.
I have him sitting on a Master Mold throne. I kind of like set up this Master Mold throne for him. And I used the remember the Marvel Universe Sentinels they made that was like 16 inch?
Of course. Yeah.
I got them in like molding chambers because I'm like, I'm not gonna display 3 of these really big Sentinels on my shelf. One, because of, you know, real estate. 2, I'm just like, well, how am I gonna make Master Mold really pop out? You know, that was just putting one of them on my shelf as Master Mold. Because if I got 3. If I had 3 of them on my shelf with one Master Mold head on, then it doesn't. They're the same size, and it doesn't look like they're.
Yeah, the kayfabe doesn't work. Yeah.
Right. So.
Because that's fine. That's always me with my shelf, to use like a wrestling term, like kayfabe. Like it has to make sense with what I'm looking at. And, you know, otherwise I'm like, well, that wouldn't go with that. That's, get out of here.
Right. It's like, it's crazy because I'm like, with my Transformers collection, I got Unicron, and I'm just like, he's so big, and yet I say he should have been bigger. It's ridiculous. Like,
dude, like, I wish I'd got Unicron, man. I wish I'd got Unicron.
It took me like 4 hours to transform.
Is he planet or robot now?
I got him in robot mode again.
Yeah, of course you have, man. That's what looks. That looks so cool.
Exactly. That's how I want Unicron on my display. But I got so many of the Titan class. You know, I got Metroplex, Scorponox,
that's
Trypticon,
wicked.
And I'm just like, they're all like, these robots are just taking so much real estate that I could, if I wanted to, I could have gotten 10 Sentinels and displayed all 10 Sentinels there. But
It is. I've only got my two Transformers, my Prime and Megatron, but yeah, they're the big MAS, like not 1/12 scale, but I think like they would work best with like the 3.75 GI Joe ones. They're like perfectly scaled and they're amazing.
That was my shit when I was a kid. The best crossover battles was putting my GI Joes against my Transformers. It's like,
yeah, dude,
that was the best play day ever.
It is. It's so much fun. Now I like, and again, that's what brings out the fun of Transformers or action figures in general. Was yesterday I just spent like the best part of the evening making a full new display with Prime and just all these random figures that I don't really have a home for, but I wanted to, but I love. So I've got Prime posed up with the Shredder Green Ranger and like the Scarab from Action Force.
Man,
just so
awesome.
many cool things, dude. I look at it, I freaking love it.
Yeah, as a kid, like I was obsessed with crossovers. So like things like when they did Marvel versus DC, because I love both Marvel and DC comics, like the whole amalgam stuff. Like I love that. It was just like one of those dream projects for me. Was man, like that'd be cool to get one company to do Marvel and DC action figures so that they're the same and I can, make them cross over perfectly. And like now we got like companies like Mezco and Mafex doing them that they're like they feel like they're in one cohesive universe.
That's really annoying now, you see, because I freaking love my Marvel Mezco, but now you got me thinking like I could get Superman and Batman and do a little Marvel versus DC, and I didn't need that thought in my head, but now I got it.
I know, dude. Like I'll freak out if they ever do a Marvel versus DC video game. Like I would need that's my dream fighting game. Like,
oh yeah, man.
So I like the cross. You know what? Now that I think of it, I never really did crossover pictures like that, and I'm a big fan of crossovers. You got to get onto that. I got it. Yeah, man, I got to do that.
That's so funny mentioning Marvel versus DC because I was a mid-90s comic reader as well, and that's when I started. Then of course then they had the amalgam characters like you imagine Hasbro doing a Dark Claw figure, something like that. Just that'd be the bomb, man. The absolute bomb.
Right. Oh man. Yeah. Again, that would be.
But now of course it's because that's when it was lovely because it was privately owned Marvel and privately owned DC. These little companies and they're good to collaborate. And now it's Warner Brothers and Disney. Like they ain't collaborating on nothing. So
no, I know. We'll never see that again.
That's it. Well, we'll leave the memories alone. We've got those to smile about.
Exactly.
Dude, the main impetus originally for getting you on the show was we were going to do this feature called Desert Island Display. Yeah. So I'm gonna make like a sandwich with Desert Island Display in the middle and then banter bread either side. So, dude, I'm sure you're familiar with the concept. You have crash landed on a desert island. But it's not too bad because you just happen to have the 5 action figures that you would most want to have with you on that desert island, be it for nostalgia, good times, raise your spirits, or something that would work as firewood. I don't know, but I'm about to find out. So, dude, tell me, man, what would be your first action figure for your desert island display?
So my dream line was always to have a 6-inch fully articulated GI Joe line, which dude, we
got our wish.
Yeah, I got that wish, and it came to fruition. When Hasbro revealed it 2 years ago, and that would be the GI Joe Deluxe 0 numbered Snake Eyes.
Man, you know who else had that on his desert island display was Jay Hernandez, dude. He picked 0-0 Snake Eyes. That is such a badass figure, man.
That is probably my favorite figure in my collection because again, it was just like so long. I just waited so long for a 6-inch fully articulated GI Joe line because I know they could kill it. It's their own IP. They can go balls out with it.
Absolutely, yeah. And I felt like money to pay.
Yeah,
all goes on the figure.
Absolutely, and then when I opened it up, with the special dojo, like the dojo Harashikage stand with the swords, all these weapons, and I was just like, Dude, I had so much fun. I never went so deep with photography in one figure. Like, I remember reviewing that figure. I took like 25 different photos for that figure. It was more like 1,000 shots, all together. But trying to select it, it was all 25. But I was just lost with that figure. I was like, man, this is it. This is my dream figure. This is my favorite figure in my collection. That would be the number one figure I'm taking with me.
Dude, that is such a good call, though. He's fantastic.
Oh, I love him. And like Snake Eyes, I'll just take like any Snake Eyes figure at this point. That's one of like the one like reuse or redos that I don't care if they make it.
So, man, are you going to be getting the new 2-pack where it's him and Timber, but with the new paint deco? Because that actually looks really nice. I'm tempted by that.
Oh yeah, that looks good. I have the regular Timber one. So why not get this one? I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll probably just keep that in the pack, maybe.
Okay. I couldn't.
Because I already
have.
Man. I have a Timber already, but then again, you know what? Then I'm like, oh, it's an extra dog. I could use it for photography. That's just me. I'm the photographer. I'm always thinking about displays. So
absolutely,
I'm gonna get it.
But it is because I mean I love, like, Snake Eyes has just one of the coolest designs. Like it's up there with Boba Fett, RoboCop, just iconic, badass look. But I always thought, like, it was a bit of a shame toyetic wise because it's all black, it kind of disappears on my shelf a little bit. So this new one with the different colors, with like the more sort of camo pants, with the silver on the visor, I'm like, Hasbro, you dirty dogs, you just nailed it.
I know. And then I put that when they did the retail version, like the all black, I put that deluxe head that had the silver visor, popped it off, and put it on that all black one to have my like definitive Snake Eyes look for me. And oh my god, it just looks so much better. It's a beautiful figure. It's glorious, man. I can't stop playing. And I have another one in pack too, just in case mine breaks from like abuse.
just use them. You just play around with them too much. That's a wonderful thing.
That's what happened to my Marvel Legends Gambit. As I mentioned before, that was the first Marvel Legends I ever bought. So I beat the crap out of that figure. And he just ended up breaking. I'm just like,
and man, that is another thing though that really it is a big point towards Marvel Legends, is that they are toys. You can manhandle them a bit. You can play around with them, and I
adore,
man, because I adore my Mezco Wolverine, but I'm always so careful when I get him out because I'm like, I don't want to upset him. But I love the fact that with Legends, you can just pick them up, move them around, put them in all positions, chuck them out the window, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're very
really
durable,
hardy.
man. They're very durable. They're durable with their plastic quality, I feel. Except when they, when you get some of those that have like gummy joints or something like that, like their female figure, the old females with the pins, their legs would warp.
The little warpy legs. Yeah,
that's why I'm like, thank God for pinless, because it doesn't, it prevents that from happening.
So no excuse for not doing more pinless figures, by the way, guys. Like, come on, you got that pinless tech now. Don't go being stingy on it.
Exactly. And some people are telling me like, oh, I don't care about pinless. That's cool. You know what I mean? But we got to evolve. They signed up for this. They signed up for this upgrade, so they got to live up to it, right? They got to keep delivering.
Absolutely.
It's like, for me, it's just like, no going back, man. Like,
well,
go forward.
Again, the wallets and markets, man. It speaks for itself. I was thinking, do I want to spend $150 on a wave of figures that I'm not that fussed about, or do I want to spend that same amount of money on like one Mezco figure that I freaking adore? So you gotta give me the incentive to stick with you, because I want to be on Team Legends. You just gotta keep greasing the wheel there.
Especially when you look at Mezco having a $250 Ghost Rider with the bike, light up functions, and all that stuff.
That's it.
And you compare it to the Hazlab, the old heads, the old school Marvel heads will probably gravitate more towards the Mezco one for $250.
Yeah, I did. I put down my pre-order, and in 2032, when it hits shelves, I'm gonna be looking forward to adding him. Yeah,
Mezco got to be on point with their freaking estimated arrivals, man, because I'm still waiting on Keaton Batman. They took my money. I paid PayPal because I'm like, oh man, it's Keaton Batman. You know, PayPal is just once you pre-order with PayPal, for some reason they charge you the full amount. But man, I'm still waiting.
I did the same thing, man. Every mezco that I've ever wanted, I just if I had the money, I just paid all in up front because then it's done. Because if I wait until later, then maybe I won't be able to afford it, or I'll get that invoice and I'll be like, geez, I wasn't expecting that. So mezco is sitting on so much of my money right now.
I know. I had to cut back on mezco a lot, man, because you know, it's pricey. It gets pricey when you're you know, paying for these premium high-end collectibles like mezco. Obviously I collect Mayfix too, so that's not easy. So with Legends, it's like, okay, $20-something figure, you don't feel bad as you would spending like $100 figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Like if your significant other or someone asks, like, how much did you spend on that? You can go like, it was only $20. That's okay.
Exactly. And sometimes that $20 could turn into like 200-something bucks. Like I sold my retro Spider-Man on Mercari for like 200-something bucks. I didn't think it would sell, and I'm just like, holy crap.
Hey, some people are just desperate to hand over their money. I mean,
because like once they revealed the pinless Spider-Man, right? The Renew Your Vows. I'm like, well, why am I gonna keep this? All my extra Spider-Mans. Like,
I justify a lot of my purchases by selling things in order to get them. So as soon as they announced Renew Your Vows, I instantly sold retro because I was like, boom.
That's the great thing about this hobby is you could always make the money back, you know, or more. Because you know, for me, like I'm not a scalper. I didn't that was aftermarket price. You know, I'm not a scalper. I don't use it for my own, I'm not looking to rip people off or greed. I'm in that fine line. It's just like I use that money to reinvest in my hobby.
Absolutely. No, I mean, people always misuse the word scalper. You're only scalping if you are going into a store and you're ripping them all off the shelf and, stopping other people from buying them.
Right. And seek maximum profit from that.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely doing it.
When it's aftermarket, it's all fair game.
Oh, yeah. All bets are off then, man. You got to get paid.
All right. So my second figure.
Yes.
Would be. And probably people give me crap about it, but I don't care, right? Because like you said, it's whatever I'm attached to or, nostalgia, whatever it is.
You're the one who's got to survive on this desert island, man.
Yeah. And that would be, and it's going to, when I answer this, it's going to go back to something that I wanted to elaborate more on. But it would be the Marvel Legends Spider-Man PS4 Advanced Suit because of the sentimental value for me. That was my first ever review on YouTube. That game means so much to me, and I don't want to get into details because I don't want to be like, all mopey and stuff. Cool. But I almost died at that year, and on my road to recovery, I had that video game, and there was a lot of hope and all that stuff, and it got me back up on my feet and just like. It made me feel alive. I got to beat a disease that was killing me, and almost on my deathbed, and I was like at 98 pounds, dude. I was at like 95 pounds, and got back up, and dude, I got up to like 109, I was like 180 pounds in 3 months. Recovering. Yeah. And so that game really helped me on my road to recovery. So when they announced that figure, I was just like, I know they revealed the figure beforehand, but it dropped.
Yeah.
And that's what lit the spark in me because I was just like, I felt like I rejuvenated myself. I reinvented myself. I beat something that, I almost died.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
And Spider-Man, what's the greatest thing about Spider-Man, right? His resiliency. No matter how many times he gets beaten up where he's near death, he always finds a way to get back up.
Yeah, man. That's why we love Spider-Man. Yeah, exactly. It's all about overcoming adversity.
So that figure just meant so much to me. And And so I'm like, all right, man, you know, like I told you before, I did Instagram before YouTube, like for 4 years. So at that point, that's when I started my YouTube channel. And when I did the review, and I know a lot of people always told me, hey man, you should do a YouTube channel. And I'm like, because I told you, I'm not that kind of like, I wasn't a social media guy. I just wanted to share my pictures and stuff.
Absolutely.
But then something about the figure, it just sparked something in me, like a fire I never had inside. And I guess it was with, you know, what I've been through. You know, I have a freaking unbreakable spirit. So
dude, that's awesome.
So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do a review. Let's just do it. I took my phone camera, my iPhone, I filmed it in 4K. It had a great presentation too. And oh yeah, by the way, I got the speaking of the video game, I got the tattoo.
Man, that's wicked. I love that. And you got Magneto on the other arm as well?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Jim Lee
so
Magneto.
bad. Jim Lee. Freaking love
Magneto
it,
shirt, yeah. And so like I filmed it. I didn't know what the reaction was gonna be. Because I was on hiatus and stuff because I was focusing on my health. And then, you know, I told everyone like, hey, I'm back now, and I actually, you know, started my YouTube channel. This is my review, my first ever review if you want to watch it. And it blew up way more than I thought it was. Like the first week it had like 15,000 views.
Dude,
and
that's crazy.
It's crazy because like who gets 15,000 views on their first video? It's hard. It's really hard. And then it was like 20,000, and then it was just like, holy crap, I was just taken aback. I didn't know people wanted to see me that much. I didn't know, like, I had a lot of people anticipating my first ever review, and it got such a great reception that people wanted more. They were like, dude, I can't believe this is your first review. The presentation was spot on and all that stuff, and it was just like, you know, I have a gift the gab, but at the same time, like I have an eye for presentation. So I have a very picky eye. So for me, especially being a photographer,
you can frame a shot nicely. You know what looks nice.
Yeah.
I think that there's certain elements that, you know, you're gonna take with you into YouTubing that even on your first video, man, it's right there.
Yeah. And I could talk shit about the figure too, saying that, hey, it's reused from the Spider-Man white suit 2099. Yeah, I know it, but it's what it means to me, right? It's what it means to me. I mean, the next time around, they better do the suit and all details, because when you look at the Gamerverse Miles Morales that they did,
oh, that's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's all new sculpt, and that makes me look back and I'm like, why couldn't they do that with Spider-Man?
That Miles was one of my figures of the year last year, or even January. I can't remember when it came out. Either way, man, it's gorgeous. Absolutely
last year.
Fantastic. It was like last year. Man, time moves fast.
And I'm
like, if we get a redo of that Sony Spider-Man, if they do it
in
nice.
the same treatment they gave for Miles Morales, we're possibly looking at one of the best Gamerverse figures ever.
Oh, absolutely. It's so funny because I remember when they first ever showed the announcement trailer for that game, man, I didn't like that costume. I was like, the white on Spider-Man with red. I was like, no, that doesn't work. Now, freaking love it.
Yeah,
love
and
that
I actually
costume.
explained the details of the costume in the review because a lot of people didn't know what the white represented. It wasn't just like branding Insomniac Games for their own Spider-Man identity, but there was like the function of combat. You know how it was like a reinforced steel, like it was protective armor plates, like he has it on his forearms, he has it on his feet. So when he's punching, kicking, he's gonna knock bad guys out faster, you know, and harder and faster.
He's been playing the Arkham games, and he's like, right, okay, we're gonna we need a little extra padding on here.
Oh, those Arkham games are beautiful, man.
Dude, that's my jam, man. The Arkham games, the Spider-Man games. Spider-Man on the PlayStation is the only game I've ever platinumed because I just couldn't get enough of it. Loved it, man.
Yeah,
so much.
I platinumed like all the Arkham games, and Spider-Man was like
those Riddler trophies. Nah, no, I'm not getting those.
Oh, that took me forever, dude. I know that took me forever. It was the third one, Arkham Knight. That took me forever. But yeah, dude, Spider-Man PS4, that just means so much, and I'm hyped up for the new Spider-Man game when they come out. And
Sometime next year, isn't it? It is next
yeah,
year, I think. Hopefully,
yeah,
it better be.
2023, right? Yeah, if there's
It better be.
no
Yeah, but
delays.
Venom, Craven, dude, more stuff with Miles. It's gonna be so legit.
Yeah, man, I want to see what they do with that Marvel Legends Gamerverse Venom. You know, it's bound to happen. They're not gonna miss out on Venom. He's so popular, so it's just like, you know, with the new sculpts they did, like that movie Venom sculpt was just really nice, you know. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what they do with a Gamerverse one. Hopefully they come out with like a dedicated Gamerverse Spider-Man PS4 wave, you know, the characters and stuff. I saw Dan Who got a review of that. Inner Demons
the
pack.
2-pack. Yeah, man. Dan Who, I don't know who his sources are, but that dude gets the drop on everything. It's like,
right. All of a sudden, he's beating MCU Collector and E Rivera for like the first one.
Every time I open my YouTube screen, I'm like, son of a biscuit, come on!
I know, man. I don't know, whoever his plug is. I guess he's got the good hookup. I don't care about putting it stuff like the stuff early out. I know I'm always going to be behind, especially how I do things. I care about quality more than I do quantity. So yeah, I could push out reviews like every day if I wanted to, but I choose to do like quality, like the story time. People love that. That takes a lot of time because I'm
absolutely
backtracking and I do a lot of reading on that. The ACBA photograph shots, all that stuff, that takes time.
Yeah, it's so difficult for me with just kind of gauging the amount of time to put into videos to the release schedule that I want, because I'll be the first to admit that like I'm kind of addicted to the dopamine hit of putting the video out and getting the response and then repeating that cycle. Same. So I always want to have something up regularly, but then again, of course, your channel is only as good as the effort you put in. So I will often stop myself and go like, dude, slow down. Right. If you want to get it out tonight, you can do, but you're going to be cutting corners. Just take the time.
I know.
It's not easy.
Yeah, and then when you run into issues and it doesn't like, and you don't get to upload your video when you want. Like last night, I was supposed to have my Mafex Mafex Jean Grey review.
Oh, dude, I'm jealous you got your hands on that.
I was supposed to have it up last night, but I ran into technical difficulty, and I'm like, okay. But luckily, it's fixed. It will be up tonight on my channel. Yeah. And, it could get annoying, you know, with the technical difficulties, trying to keep up. Because I'm like, oh, man, I had a good streak going. I had 4 videos straight in a row, 4 days in a row. And, like, that would have been my 5th, but, you know.
That was actually I literally had that just the other day with the Retro Apocalypse, because I didn't realize at the time when I bought it, but then I realized that England is the first place to have him. Like, he's not out in various other territories. And I was like, oh, so I was really excited to get that review up as soon as possible. And then there were so many things delaying me, and I was like every second counts, you know. And then finally I got it up yesterday, and I was like, whew, okay, great. And it was I'll be the first to admit, I was really happy. It did get more reviews than your average. And I was like, okay, you see, that's
because you had the review, and then I wake up and it's like, oh, Dan Who's got his review. I'm like,
I tell you what, not gonna lie, with all the love in the world, I was very happy. I finally beat that guy, and that's it. And that's it with all the love in the world, man. He does great. But I was like, yes.
I love how there's like this friendly competition between like UK guys. Just as well as like us Americans, like here is like, and then it just is globally. We'll all look at it like UK got it first. Oh, US got it first, and like who got it up first?
it's so funny. I did like that's one thing that I was never expecting when I started doing YouTube was just how cool the community is. Like I freaking love everyone who I get. That's why I started doing this Desert Island thing, because I wanted a good excuse to have a conversation with someone, because I know people are always willing to come on shows. It's always a good time, but I was like, okay, what can the format be? But this is just great because like yourself, Jay Hernandez, Russ, like everyone who I've been watching, like you then meet, and it's like, man, it's all cool dudes. It's so nice.
Oh yeah, and the community will always look out for each other. Like Shartimus Prime was here in my town in Charlotte, North Carolina, because he just came back from PowerCon.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. I saw your episode together. That was great.
Thanks. And like he was like, "Oh, dude, man, you live in Charlotte, right? Because he's gonna be like stranded at the airport for a layover flight until California." I'm like, "I'm not gonna let you sit in the airport for like 6-7 hours, man. Come on, let's hang out." And so like we were just hanging out, ate lunch and stuff, and I don't know, it just happened. It's like, "You want to shoot a video? Yeah, let's do a video."
Man, that's so cool. I love that. Absolutely.
Because it was just like we were talking about a lot of good stuff, and it was just like, "Oh man, let's just make a video of it."
Yeah. Yeah, I got a real kick out of watching that. That was
yeah.
Because also it's like, I think, do they live near each other? And I was like, no, it turns out it was just good timing.
Oh yeah, he lives on the West Coast. I live down south, so yeah, it was just good timing. I thank Sharp a lot for like he's the one that actually like really put me on the map. As far as like, because when like no one else was like noticing my work on Instagram, he was the one that was just like, "Oh man, you got to follow this guy for like really cool photography shots and poses and stuff." And like,
that's cool.
Yeah, so that like, man, like we were, him and I were like really cool, and friends look each other out. So it kind of like, I don't want to say it bothers me, but I just don't understand how people can like tell me like, "Oh, you only got your followers because of Shartimus." Like, dude, if that's your friend, like if you have friends, wouldn't you help your own friend out and stuff like that? But either way, right, at the end of the day, it's whether the followers and subscribers want to stick with you and follow you. Easiest thing is to get them. Hardest thing is to keep them.
Yeah.
And everyone has, thankfully, I'm blessed that everyone has, stayed along this ride that I've been in, and it's just a lot of fun, dude. I'm just having fun.
Man. I get such a kick out of it. Actually, I got to say, man, this I'm loving this. We got some good banter going on. This is a great time. I'm having fun with this. So,
exactly.
So we got where were we? We had Snake Eyes, and we had
Marvel Legends Spider-Man PS4 Advance.
You know what? My only gripe with that figure, but it kills me because otherwise I'd love it so much, is he just comes with the fist and the thwip. Or at least my one did. I'm not sure if did your one have multiple hands.
Yeah.
Because
no, it was just fists and the thwips, no wall crawling hands.
Yeah. I was like, oh, if you could have just thrown in a couple of those, would have been like 5-star. But you know what? That just means they're gonna have to redo it. Just to redo it and do it right, guys.
The Marvel Selects did a great one though. It comes with a bunch of hands, and he even has like the little spider drones that I love.
That's great.
Some webbing accessories. They did a really good one. The only thing I wasn't happy was with the torso articulation. I felt like and that's the thing with Marvel Selects, is just like, yeah, they got good sculpts, but remember, I'm an articulation guy too. Well, I like a combination of both, articulation and sculpt. Mm-hmm. And if I can't get Spider-Man and Spider-Man-like poses,
totally,
it's a fail for me. But there is a way to mod it. There's a way to mod it to make them like crunch a little more forward and stuff like that, and it works.
Yeah,
it works.
Select is such a funny company, because like when they do something great, it can be amazing. Like their Select. Oh no, I moved him. Oh yeah, there he is. My Select Hulk behind me. Love that guy. Brilliant. Titanium Man, incredible. But sometimes, like I saw some pictures of their new Miles Morales that's coming out, and I'm like, geez, like that doesn't look as like the variance in quality sometimes seems to be all over the place.
It is. I don't know if they have like different teams tackling like one specific figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the case because, like you said, there's a lot of inconsistencies. Yeah. So it could be that.
Well, fingers crossed their Apocalypse is going to live up to the hype, because I'm looking forward to it, man. That's what I put my down payment for that one.
Yeah, I want to see how it looks in person, because like I don't know, I'm not a fan of how I feel like he's a little scrawny.
Everyone's saying that. That's the one feedback I'm seeing.
And I need my Apocalypse to be bulky. Like you said in your Apocalypse review, he should be he's
going to be jacked.
He's got to be jacked with celestial technology and although they did the techie parts good, I give them that. Yeah, I know that they're going to be good on that. I give them that, but I feel like the girth is not there for me.
That's it. He looks very OG Apocalypse. Very, very X Factor 1980s first appearance type Apocalypse.
And that's okay for that time if they're going for that specific look. But
we like our Roy D. Magoo sort of.
Damn, you know what you got me thinking now that we were talking about Mafex, and I was just thinking, man, Mafex Nightfall Bane is coming out. Mafex Apocalypse would be interesting.
Dude, that would be, because my only complaint with Mafex sometimes is that I find them a little bit scrawny, and they'd have to really put a lot into Apocalypse to make him a big dude. But if they're doing Nightfall Bane, then that's not going to be far off. So
it's not, because they really haven't showed us if they could tackle like really big brute-like characters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because
the jury's out on that one.
Yeah, because if they do a 90s Jim Lee Sabretooth, which they could put out the definitive Jim Lee Sabretooth figure. Let's face it, we don't have that.
No,
At
still
least,
waiting for it.
Right, exactly. Especially in the articulation department. Oh man, I'm like dreaming. I just want to see. I'm curious to see more bigger sculpts from them, like from those bigger characters.
Absolutely. I forgot that they were doing a Nightfall Bane, because Bane, like, I'm not a big DC guy, but he is one of my favorites, and I want to get my hands on that McFarlane one. He's not out in the UK yet, but
I just wish he had fists because I want him to punch.
That was the first thing I saw. I was like, where are the fists, Tom? Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's his brother, Tom McFarlane, who he does all the different hands. He's great.
Right. I feel like we're getting close with Mafex though, because you look at it, it's like they're teasing us, right? They put that comic Iron Man and comic Thor. Well, they got to give us a comic Hulk, right?
That's got to do the Avengers, man. I mean, again, Mafex Captain America. We don't have a Mafex Cap yet, do we? I'm trying to think. I don't think we do, because that would be great.
One.
Yeah, comic.
I think they revealed a prototype.
Okay, because that's gonna have my attention, man. Because that's what I'm always trying to do, is build like the ultimate team out of all the different lines. So my Avengers, I've got like Mezco, Mafex, all the different ones. So yeah, if we get more to choose from over there, 100%.
Yeah, I think we'll see like the bigger bodies, in due time.
Yeah. All right.
Speaking of Mafex, my third one is Mafex Batman Hush, because my dream Batman figure. They just did my dream Batman figure. It was like fully articulated, fabric wired cape. Superposable. Yes, people can say the cape is exaggeratedly long, and I get it. Like it's kind of over exaggerated, but I kind of know what they were going for, trying to get that Jim Lee look.
Yeah,
where it's like super long. But then there's that black version that they did that had a much smaller cape, and I fell in love with it, dude. I was like, this is my Batman. This is my definitive Batman. I just wish he had more gadgets.
Right.
Just like the typical Batarangs is like, okay, we expect Batarangs. It's Batman. Like, of course he's going to have Batarangs. Yeah. I just wanted more gadgets. Like, no one can tell me like, Mezco does the best Batmans as far as like gadgetry. They give them everything. Yeah, drones, grapnel guns,
again,
bat laptops.
Feels like with Mezco sometimes, like they get given a budget and they're like, how can we do extra stuff? Like, how can we get as much into this figure as possible? And that's always great. But that's nice.
Yeah, Mezco, I know I gave up on a lot of Mezco stuff, but I kept all like the Batman related characters, like Joker, Harley Quinn. I kept like all my Batmans because I love them all. I think Batman is like their strong, that really is their strong suit, man. I know they put out like Gomez and their Rumble Society stuff, Yeah. I felt like they focused too much on that. I get it, it's their IP. But I felt like they kind of forgot
it's
a
like,
lot of the comic side of what made them popular.
Don't forget to actually deliver on the things that you've taken our money for, guys.
Exactly.
Where's that Fantastic Four box set, guys? We're waiting.
Oh, that looks incredible. You know, I
I
just mentioned I love Fantastic Four, and
I took the plunge, man. I was like, you know what? Screw it. You only live
putting that
once.
with Galactus is gonna look freaking
Right.
incredible. Like if you were like if you just wanted a Fantastic Four display and you just wanted the team, the Hazlab Galactus and Doctor Doom, Mescal Doctor Doom, well, there it is. Like that's
Boom. That's
all you
exactly
need.
my logic. And then God bless them. God bless Select for putting the Watcher back out.
Yes.
Re-releasing the Watcher. Oh, round of applause.
Dude,
like,
you know they would freaking F the HasLab campaign over if they reissue Mephisto.
Oh.
Could you imagine this week we get a reveal of reissue Mephisto? That is going to kill a lot of the excitement for the tiers for Marvel Legends.
That's such a good idea. I want to see that happen.
That's what I'm. They can do it anytime
with the throne and everything. I mean, that would piss all over. Like,
because
man.
Dan Yoon officially came out and like to confirm that no tiers will feature vehicles. It's only figures. So forget about a Danny Ketch or Vengeance. It's only gonna be figures. So
yeah.
And Mephisto obviously was teased.
Oh, that would make me laugh so hard.
I'm not gonna lie, it's messed up, but I would laugh.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Select can just be like, we're just gonna leave this over here.
Right? Can you imagine?
If
they do it on the day Marvel Legends reveals their Mephisto tier, or they do it the day of or day after, like mic drop.
I would, yeah. That is a mic drop moment. Oh, I would mark out for that. Okay, that's on my wish list of things I want to see now. Just because clearly I'm an agent of chaos. Just makes me happy.
Yeah. Oh man, it's gonna be interesting to see, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think again that's sort of something that puts me off slightly about the HasLab is like that the Hell Charger looks awesome, but unlike the Sentinel and Galactus, I can't really build a display around it as much. Like my Sentinel, I literally have the X-Men like hanging on to him and wrapped up in the coil and all that kind of stuff, and going to be similar with Galactus. If you think I'm not recreating that issue of the Fantastic Four with the front cover of him like fighting all the different Marvel heroes, yeah, that's what's happening. So with the Hell Charge, you can just like people are standing around it, I guess. But that's it, you know. So yeah, I want more of an interactive kind of a HasLab. We'll see. Right. We'll see what the next one is.
Right.
At least I'll have money saved up from this year.
Yeah, man. Like I said, if you want to back it. If you don't, then don't. Life moves on,
absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
You know, figures are not the end all be all. So
that's it. And you know, also like if you pay that to back it, dude, I respect that. I'm not gonna tell anyone on the air how much I have paid for certain figures that I want above the odds. Certain eBay prices paid would probably make people just lose all respect for me. But in the time, I wanted the thing.
Yeah, so that's all that matters, man. If you have the money, do what you want with it, man. Whatever makes you happy, right? Life's too short to be pissed off all the time. That's what I always say.
Thank you. There you go. That's the takeaway from this episode. It's life's too short to be pissed off. Enjoy action figures. Have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. So we've got So now we got Snake. Oh, there you go. Snake Eyes. We got Spider-Man, Sony, and we have Hush. Batman. Three stellar choices. Because I gotta say, I've done a few of these episodes. Love doing it every time. Love the banter. Sometimes though, I gotta admit, I'll sit here and be like, really, dude, you're taking that with you? All right, well, I'm gonna put my judgy face on. But no, so far I gotta say, there's the three banging choices. What do we got for number 4?
Yeah. This is a tough one because it was Storm Collectibles, and I try to keep one brand each, right? Like one line each. And that ain't gonna work. But Storm Collectibles, that was the hardest one because I love all their stuff. Yeah. I'm a huge video game fan. Fighting games are my favorite genre, up there with RPGs and just like their Mortal Kombat line. that was like my first fighting game love was Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
And when they introduced the Mortal Kombat line, this was like they had Mortal Kombat figures before, not Storm Collectibles. I mean, like other companies like Jazzwares and stuff. But what even Hasbro did it one time. And like the reusing GI Joe bodies, figures, right? Reuse, like they love that. Yeah, I always wanted like crazy effects, alternate hands, the import style, like
Absolutely.
bones, blood, and more blood. And I get that with Storm Collectibles. So I'm going with the Storm Collectibles Goro.
Oh, this good choice, man.
Is one of the most incredible looking action figures that sometimes I forget it's an action figure on my shelf.
Since you've got him, he's literally within arm's reach here.
Yeah.
So let me just bring out this big guy. This is what we're talking about here for the listeners at home or the viewers. Dude,
sometimes I forget that that's an action figure. Like sometimes he looks like a statue on my shelf. Like sometimes he looks like, one of those high-end premium sideshow collectible statues that he looks so real. I love the faces that they do for these characters. They make them so lifelike, dude. Oh my God.
It's the bomb.
I have both regular version and bloody version. So I'll let you know why I always get the bloody versions from Mortal Kombat. Obviously, it always stems back to me being a photographer. Because if I'm displaying them fighting each other, well, they're gonna bleed. You're in a fight. I have fist fights before.
It's Mortal freaking Kombat.
I used to do boxing. I bled. You get punched in the face, you're gonna bleed. So like, I love the bloody versions capturing that side of the game for me, because then I feel like, okay, my photography is alive. And the clean versions, I really love those for like the still photography or group shots, or I could look at my Storm Collectibles display for hours. Like I have all Mortal Kombat scenes, I have them fighting each other, and normally and that was kind of like the fun part of that display for me, because I am a very old school display kind of collector, as I like to call it. Like I like the photo class where they're all like lined up facing forward or to the side, and that's just probably it also stems from like me being a comic book fan, seeing like a lot of comic book artists doing group photos together of teams standing together, and like I don't want to put I don't put my Marvel Legends in battle scenes and stuff like that, because I want you to see the faces. I want you to see the figure. I don't want you to see the back of the figure or something like that. So with Mortal Kombat, it was so much fun because I got to put them in battle like poses. Like I have Goro ripping off Ermac's arms or something like that.
So cool.
I got a bunch of like fatalities performed, like Sub-Zero's neck rip, the head rip. Gotta do that.
I mean, I was speaking just a minute ago about the obscene amounts of money spent on, different figures. I was late to the party with Storm Collectibles.
Yeah.
And I thought like, I'd love those Mortal Kombat ones, but I just can't afford it. And then just one time I was like, hey, you know what? Screw it. Like, let's go on eBay. What have we got? And someone put me in touch with some dude in Hong Kong who has an eBay account, and that was like my hookup, because they were still expensive, but they were not crazy, because some of those Storm Mortal Kombat figures are bonkers now.
Yeah.
But I managed to get like my essential ones, and I thought I ain't gonna get the original ninjas.
And that's what made me happy for starting the line from the beginning.
So have you been able to be a completionist with this one?
Yeah, there was just not. The only one I don't have is the Cyrax with the helicopter spinning. It was a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, which
right. So yeah, you've got
I should have had that
variants and everything. Yeah.
Oh, I know why I didn't get it. Like I didn't jump the gun right away. Now when I look back, it sold out. When I went back to check, I was like, oh man, it was because Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con was selling him first.
Right.
So I didn't want to wait. It was like right there in front of me. And I told myself, no, I'm going to get the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive one with the spinning effect. I know photographers, but I couldn't help myself. When I saw it in front of me, I'm just like,
Sometimes you just got to move on it. When you see the opportunity, you got to go for it.
And it was so cool because the Storm Collectibles booth knew me. They're like, "Oh, I know you are your XManny." You said, "I'm like, really? All right, here, man. Take my money."
Dude, that's awesome.
It felt so surreal, like when I get recognized. I'm never used to it.
No, that's still I absolutely love that. I dig it so much. If I go to a convention, like shamelessly, I am wearing my model behavior T-shirt and Decepticon baseball cap because I freaking love that so much.
You stand by your brand, right? You're proud of your brand, and like
I just love like the fact that people are like, hey, I watch what you do, and I'm like,
and I love
my mind.
Yeah, that's the best thing about the hobby is the networking, the relationship building, the friendship building, all that stuff. Like, I love it. And like, remember one time I was in Florida and someone was like, "Oh yeah, I know you. I watch your videos, man." And we started talking. He was like, "You know what? I thought you were a dick, but you're a pretty cool guy." And I'm like, "Oh, that kind of sounds insulting at first, but okay."
Yeah.
I don't know why you even think that, but
it's like you didn't have to lead with that, but okay.
I'm like, but you just see me on a YouTube channel. You like this, talk to me. That's how you get to know me, man. You can't just judge me off of a review. Maybe I said something bad about a figure that you like. Don't take that personal.
It's funny. I'll often, if I go to a convention, I might maybe like one or two people might be like, "Hey, model behavior," which is wicked. But then I'll get back and I'll get all these messages from people saying like, "Oh, hey, I saw you at the convention. I didn't want to come over." I was like, "No, dude, you should have come over." It's like next time.
Yeah.
No, it's always great fun.
I know. I love it, man. So Storm Collectibles Goro definitely goes there. And there was a lot of ones I was thinking, dude, because I was like Storm Collectibles Dark Side and like Lobo from Injustice. Yeah. It's safe to say that like Storm Collectibles is the king of video game figures.
If we have like a list of action figure collecting regrets, not getting into Storm Collectibles Street Fighter. I wish I'd gotten on that on the ground floor, man.
Yeah.
They look so good.
Yeah, they are, man. They're great figures. I have the Chun-Li. I used to have almost all of them, and then it was just like, it gets to the point I'm like, okay, I got to stick to what do I love more, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter? I'm more of a Mortal Kombat guy. I love Street Fighter, but it was just like, we all got budgets, right? Like our wallets can only go so far.
I think the Street Fighter, because the characters are slightly anime cartoony looking, it lends itself more to the Storm style. Because Storm like with Goro, dude, like monsters, fantastic, but facial likenesses are a bit iffy sometimes, I feel. Because like you Kung Lao's or your maskless Sub-Zero.
Kung Lao, I agree.
The
ninjas, I think they were pretty good. Raiden came out good. You don't think Raiden came out good?
Right, actually, no. You know what? That is mean. Raiden actually, I think it's only Kung Lao and Sub-Zero that I was like, I'm not a fan of these. And it's probably because I was like Sub-Zero in MK3, like he was my main. So like I wanted them to do him justice, and I was like, I
got him like ripping the ice clone in half.
Oh, I see that
my display.
That is great.
I love
fun.
That. With all the
bones
is so splatter. Actually, you're right. The monsters they kill it because
and credit where it's due. I've seen the pictures of their Kano. Like he looks good. He looks real for good. That one.
I think Liu Kang came out looking good too. Do you think?
No,
he's okay?
I do. I'm trying to convince myself that Liu Kang doesn't because I chose not to get him because obviously he is very expensive with the dragon as well.
Oh, you got to call it down the middle though, man. You got to call it down the middle.
Got to be like Fonzie, man. I'm going to call it right down the middle, baby. You're absolutely right. I will retract a bit of my previous statement. They do have some very good human-looking faces.
Good. I think I heard you say that in one of the streams, and I'm like, I'm gonna put this guy in check.
That's good though. You called me on it, and I was like, that's fair enough. That's
exactly. Right. That Liu Kang dragon looks good. Like you said, Kano looks phenomenal. But also what you said about their like the monsters, like Goro. Like you look at the faces that even Shao Kahn, when you take off his mask, and Baraka, Chef's kiss.
Dude, that Baraka, man, the eyes so deep set in there, and just so cool, so cool.
I would have
guy.
said if the Storm Collectibles Lobo Space Hog bike came out, then that would have replaced Goro. Like having Lobo with the bike. I love Lobo. He's an amazing character. I love Lobo. So I'm like, that would have been the one I would have taken to the island if that bike was out. But, you know.
I remember we were talking about Marvel versus DC. Because I wasn't much of a DC guy, I didn't really have a comparison for like what was right or wrong. But I remember the biggest bone of contention from people was that Wolverine beat Lobo. And people were like, that is some BS right
It was like so quick too. It was like
yeah. It's like so Wolverine.
It was like a one-hit fight or something like that. It was like,
yeah, I remember that was the one thing people were really, really mad about. But it was because it was voted on by the fans, wasn't it? And no way was. Yeah, I think that fight was a fan voted one. The main ones
probably, but doesn't mean that it should have ended in like 1, 2, 3 hits or something like that. It was like not even 5 seconds or something like that. Yeah, so. I love Wolverine, but there's no way that it should have been that quick. That should have been a legit battle. I think they robbed fans on a good battle.
It's a shame they could have actually put out a single, because that was a problem with all the fights. All the fights were like 2 pages, like 2 or 3 pages max. Yeah. And like if they had put out individual comics for each one of the fights, they would have sold. I would have bought a comic for every single fight. Superman versus the Hulk, Batman versus Captain America. You think that's not going to sell 24 pages?
Exactly. Like Superman versus Doomsday was just panels of them fighting each other. Why couldn't they do it like that, right? Like, I think that's what people just wanted to see. Like, having a panel of Superman versus Hulk like that, and like, you know, like how he fought Doomsday, people would just...
Man, if we were booking Marvel and DC in the 90s, they would have never had to have been sold to DC and Warner Brothers. They'd still be independent. We'd be killing the game right now. But hey, there you go. That's a road not taken.
Right, exactly. The fifth figure I would take.
We got 4, and now this is it, man. You gotta be cruel. What's it gonna be?
It's gotta be my favorite X-Men character of all time, Magneto. Marvel Legends Magneto, even though it's not like the definitive looking Magneto figure, and I can criticize it because that's my boy, obviously. Magneto was
absolutely.
right.
Representing there.
Yeah, you know, the head sculpt with the teeth, I didn't like how the teeth came out like separated. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't look good.
So like this is another like substitute, really, because it's like, oh man, Mayfix Magneto would take the place here.
Because dude, he looks incredible. He looks so good.
Again, that's my definitive Magneto. When it comes out, that is my definitive Magneto. But because that is like my favorite X-Men character, right? That's what made me love it. You know, X-Men. He made me love X-Men. His whole backstory, I love it. Everything that he stands for, and I gotta have that character with me.
Yeah,
I got to have that character with me, that figure with me.
So are we? So we're talking Love Triangle 3-pack Magneto.
You mean Family Matters?
Oh, Family! I always get that wrong.
If he was in a love triangle with his son and his daughter, dude, that would be the most controversial 3-pack.
That's the worst name mix-up to make, and I always make it. Family
the
Matters.
Incest Matters pack.
Well, I mean, hey, look, this ain't the Ultimate Comics, all right. We're not going down that route. Yeah.
Oh god.
Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Whose idea was that? Someone's like, "What if we make them lovers?" No one went, "No,
don't take me there, man. Don't take me back there."
Dude, of all the bad ideas, man. So yes, the Family Matters 3-pack. Okay, that's the one we're going for. Yeah.
So those would be like the 5 figures. Oh, man, dude! Like on my display, you know what I did? I don't know if you ever seen my X-Men collection video, but if you ever get a chance to, or I could just send you a picture of it. I have that Magneto, but I don't know if you remember, Storm Collectibles did the King of Fighters, and they had a build-in effect where if you collect the 4 fighters, you get this gravity smash effect, and it looks like Magneto's
Oh,
electromagnetic force field. And so I
nice.
have that effect displayed with my Magneto, and he looks absolutely glorious. Like he's just like, you know.
Oh man, well now after this, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch that video in your archives now because
Oh,
that's
definitely. Yeah,
yeah, I want to see that.
I'll send you a link. It just looks, to me, that is one of my centerpieces. It's amazing how you can make a figure that's not even like, you know, up like a masterpiece figure look like a masterpiece.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. Like again, that's another great thing about Marvel Legends is that they're so versatile. Like you can put them, you can pair them up with stuff, different effects and things. And yeah, you could absolutely make a $20 figure look like it's like $100 Mafex or Mezco or something if you just put the right accessories with it. It's amazing what you can do with those.
Yeah. We need more Brotherhood, though. He needs to be accompanied by more Brotherhood members. So I'm hoping an Avalanche.
Yeah, because he's the only main one. I mean, I assume if you got the OG Blob, the Builder figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you have. So it's just Avalanche that's really missing.
Yeah, because we got told, you know, we need an Avalanche. I would be okay with Destiny too. Destiny was would be nice to have. But that Avalanche, man, they gotta get on it.
Yeah, it's like stop dragging your heels, guys. It always surprises me because that is one of those ones that's like that's a guaranteed seller. You know, people will want that. So yeah, I guess you know they have their game plan and it's been working. You know, just keep
right,
slowly petitioning things out.
I think that's why they made it. Yeah, they made us wait like 20 years for a new Toad.
Exactly.
I still
got
have
there in
to.
the end.
I have it, but I still haven't opened it yet because I'm like, I'm trying to catch up with a lot of figures, like a lot of reviews, man. Because this is that season where you know I call it the Hasbro NATO, you know, Hasbro Hurricane, where they just pile a bunch of figures as releases. Like I still gotta do Renew Your Vows, the Known Venom 2-pack, Silk and Doc Ock. I was in the middle of reviewing the Avengers controller Build-A-Figure wave.
Oh yeah.
So because I put that on hiatus, I put that on pause just to you know, go back and try to catch up on other stuff that I need to catch up on. But
it's all about prioritizing and getting things in their order. And yeah, Hasbro just don't stop, man. Hasbro don't care about your schedule. All right, they're gonna release their figures.
No, I know. I'm like, oh, bring them. But then I'm just like, oh, crap, I can't keep up.
Yeah, I feel that. At the start of this year, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to double down on the channel, and I'm going to be the Hasbro guy. I'm going to get every Hasbro figure so that people, when they want to see a Hasbro review, they're going to come to me. And then I saw their release schedule and my budget, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. You know what? On second thoughts, I'm not going to be the Hasbro guy.
Yeah. You got to do what's best for your channel. What you want to do too. Like,
oh yeah, totally.
You got to make sure it's fun. Like for me, you know, putting a pause on the waves because I usually do like the story time segments, and like I said, I go back and I read the comics of all the like the story arcs that the characters in, and you know, then I prepare for that stuff, and it's a lot, you know, because I think I told you I like writing, so
yeah,
you know, I kind of just like create my own like history, like timeline of the characters, and then
dude, that's awesome.
Then I putting it into words, recording it, and then going back, getting those you know, getting the comics, the pages, the panels, matching it with what I'm talking about. It can take me like 3 days. And some people are like, finally, the review, what took you so long? You don't know what goes behind the scenes. Like,
it's like, watch the video, all right? And if you can't see what took me so long, then unsubscribe. Get out of here.
Yeah, no. Some people think a 10-minute video is that's all I took to make the video. No,
Yeah, it's the probably the most requested type of videos for me are as told by toys, where I kind of go through a story. But man, I got to admit, like for the amount of hours that goes into those, to the number of views, it's like the discrepancy, like it's not there. It'll take me a week to do one of those episodes, and then it'll get like average kind of views. And I'm like, I love doing it, so I always will go back to it, but I gotta also focus on like what's going to keep the numbers and the analytics and the channel healthy as well.
Yeah, so that's what I'm like, and that was, it can be exhausting, right? So I'm like, dial it back, and I'm like, all right, let me do some reviews where I don't have to do like story time or anything, and just remind myself while I'm doing this, I'm having fun. So like,
absolutely.
Hey, like, for those that get upset, like, oh man, no story time with this. Well, I'm sorry, but I got you the content at least, because when I don't have to do all the photography and the story time, I'm able to upload consistently. So let me know what you want. You know what I mean? Do you want quality? You want the background of the characters and stuff? Then you're gonna have to be patient with me and bear with me. If not, then I could just do the figure reviews. But like someone like the Iron Spider, like, you don't need a story time for that. You know who they, you know how he got his suit.
Exactly. Wiki it. You know this. Come on.
Exactly. If it's a character like, like it did Madam Hydra, not everyone knew like Madam Hydra. Not a lot of people knew she was an X-Men villain and married Wolverine and stuff like that. I explained that all on my channel. Yeah. There are those characters that share villain like rogues galleries, like like Avengers and X-Men share, Viper, Madam Hydra. You know what I mean? So I always love those characters, the ones that fit with other mythos.
Oh, totally. And I love seeing it when you get villains crossover with characters who they don't normally associate with. And that's where I love the Marvel universe so much, because it is so interconnected. Like, one of my favorite sort of story points or arcs was like when Reed was trying to save Sue's baby and they needed Doc Ock who could like perform the surgery. And it's like having these different elements like coming together. It's comics are awesome. They really are.
Exactly. Especially when you know the characters. Like, I like sometimes like I get comments of like, oh, they call the figure trash because they don't know the character. I'm like, really? Take your time. Read your comics. Take your time. Know the character. You might like the character. Don't just trash the figure because you don't know it, because like not every character selection caters to you. You know, there are other people like me who are deep in the Marvel universe that wants every character. So,
that's it. I mean, I'll be the first to admit, in hindsight, I was probably a little bit mean on the controller because I wasn't familiar with him, and I was like, and I could have viewed him through the eyes of someone who was desperate to get the controller, which is what I tried to do. I'll always ask myself, if I don't know the character or don't care about them, I just ask, well, what if this was Spider-Side? In which case, I'd be like, 5 stars. So I gotta have that sort of acceptance.
And even characters I might tell you something that you never even know. Like we were talking about Fantastic Four, like Sue Storm.
Yeah, Sue
Storm is a badass. Like she's
everyone
not just
underestimates Sue.
It's not like she's just glamour there to be Sue Reed's main squeeze. No, man. Like that one time in the comics where she took this Psycho Man. I just pointed back because like my figure's on display there. But so if I do that, it's because I have the figure. So like Psycho Man, he has that control box of how he controls your emotions. Man, she reverted that stuff like back to him, like, and started messing with all his emotions, like almost killed him. Like, dude, like she is a mean one.
I tell you, if Sue Storm had been on the Illuminati, Wanda wouldn't have been able to pull that shit in Multiverse of Madness.
Exactly.
She would have handed her ass.
You would have, like, she could literally create a force field bubble inside you. You don't even see it, and just boop, blow you up, Mortal Kombat fatality. Like,
exactly. She has one of the gnarliest power sets that people don't sort of appreciate. Like almost to the point where it must be difficult for writers to write for her sometimes because it's like, how do we nerf her? Like it's the Superman problem. Yeah.
It's like the movies. That's what I'm hoping the MCU does her justice, man. Because like the original Fantastic Four movies, they were just pretty much focusing on them being celebrities, and when they used their power sets, it wasn't really like, it was just more like. It wasn't as serious as I wanted it to be, like.
No. And then we got the Josh Trank Fantastic Four, which was a little more serious than anyone would have wanted it to be.
I refuse to watch that. I
watched 15 minutes of it on a plane. That was all I needed.
I refuse. So I'm like, that's not my Fantastic Four. I refuse to watch it, man.
I think that was a bad time for.
I know you got some
involved.
Talented actors in there, Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, but I just refuse.
Refuse. Everyone came out of it and did all right. Miles Teller, he's doing all right for himself. Michael B. Jordan, he recovered, so they're doing okay.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't worry about if you got the talent, you'll be okay. But then sometimes you can have the talent, just have bad luck. Like Jared Leto is a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
How do you fail Joker and Morbius? Well, then again, I know script could let him down. His Joker, I felt like needed more, and I felt like when I saw the extended cut of Zack Snyder, like his Joker, I'm like, that's what I wanted to see. I felt like that was held back, and I heard like they cut a lot of his Jared Leto's Joker parts from that Suicide Squad movie. That were like very like haunting and stuff like that. Like, man, as Joker, I want to see the scary stuff. I want to see.
Exactly. It's
Joker.
I think a lot of those things are the wrong people making the decisions, and that's a real shame because I still think with the right project and the right people behind him, Jared Leto could have been fantastic in any comic book movie because I've seen him be amazing in so many projects.
Exactly. I know, man. He can do it, so I just don't know how long before he actually finds the right role. And probably when he does, Roman Reigns will still be WWE Blue Universal Champion. Who knows?
Hey, you know what? I ain't even mad about that. I respect the Tribal Chief. All right, I pay homage to that guy.
Acknowledge him, man. He's doing his thing. We can talk on wrestling for a bit, dude. I just don't like.
Man, I was gonna say you've opened the floodgates now, man. Okay,
I just don't like how how they made Roman Reigns go from Drew McIntyre, a legit contender that can actually dethrone him, to Logan Paul. Like, Logan Paul was impressive. He has an impressive physique. He looks good, right? He's got that WWE look that they want.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just like you go from a major threat to someone who just wrestled The Miz.
All I'll say is that Logan Paul, he's got 100% undefeated record. Or does he? Actually, did he win at Mania? They did win at Mania. Yeah. They
won at Mania. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then had that nonsensical heel face turn where like Miz
he doesn't work as a face. People naturally hate him, so might as well make him a heel so that
absolutely.
He can get some great heat.
I think Triple H is smart enough to see that though. Like that's something that is so good to see. Like I hadn't watched WWE for years until Vince left, because every time I tried to watch it, I would just hear Michael Cole in WWE Universe mode, and I'm like, oh no, I just can't. And now it's just like breath of fresh air, man. I'll be the first to admit, WWE, they're killing it. Absolutely, awesome.
Michael Cole was his best when he was with Taz back in the SmackDown days when you didn't have Vince yelling in his ear. That was a good Michael Cole. Like, him and Taz were such a great. They made SmackDown. Like, they made SmackDown so much fun.
Absolutely. And like Michael Cole on SmackDown this week referenced Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. It's like you just know that Vince has got nothing to do. Like, I bet Michael Cole is just looking up like Wikipedia facts about guys to be like, how deep can I go with these ridiculous references?
Like,
he's good, and he gets to show it now.
So rejuvenating. Let's face it, Vince McMahon was getting so senile. He didn't know. He was out of touch. Like Triple H brought back the prize fighter Kevin Owens. For years, McMahon just made him look like a crybaby. He really was. He wasn't a threat. He was just a crybaby. Hopefully this could redeem Finn Balor and reclaiming his Universal Championship, because like I feel like he's owed that,
his
man.
boy. Yeah, absolutely. He is, man. I mean, that was tragic. I mean, that was one of the biggest missed opportunities.
I was at SummerSlam for the inaugural match when he won the Universal Champion. I was a huge fan. Yeah, I'm a huge Finn Balor fan. So for me, not seeing him get the goal, I just want him to get at least just one run of it where he deserves it. He won it. You already booked him to win it. He won it. You acknowledge him as the first Universal Champion, so might as well give him a legit run.
Dude, that's so funny because we got Finn Balor bookends, because I was there in Japan when he won the NXT Championship for the first time. Yeah, I was living over there in 2015. It was the Beast in the East where Brock Lesnar came over, and he had funnily enough, he had his first 20-second match against Kofi Kingston on that show. which back in 2015, no one was surprised to see that.
Right.
5 years later, we were a bit more surprised when we saw that again. But
Finn Balor, his entrances were just amazing. He's got the kids. He's so gifted, man. Yeah, I mean, he's learned from the best. Japan, Ireland. He's wrestled all over the UK, and the UK has respected talents, man. I'm happy he brought back Imperium.
That's
Sheamus
so
and
Sheamus
and freaking Walter, which I still call him Walter. I just thought that was one of the best probably my favorite match of the year, man.
But again, I gotta say also though, that's something, and this isn't Triple H's fault, because this is hangover from Vince's booking. I don't think Drew McIntyre should have beaten Roman Reigns that night, because in my mind, I still see the Drew McIntyre who was chopping the ropes with his sword to explosion sound effects and talking about old Scottish legends. And I'm like, no, this guy is no. Maybe after 6 months of rehab, possibly, but there's so many more opportunities they could have if they did another big stadium show in the UK with Finn Balor, with Sheamus, with Drew. They've got the people there, but they just need some consistent non-McMahon booking to make them decent.
Yeah, I guess a part of me just wanted Drew to really win it in front of a live crowd, because he held down the COVID era.
He did. He deserves it again.
I felt like he deserved to win it in front of his people, and just that's what made me root for him. But that's the kind of booking I like, right? It's like you legit had a booking situation where it was 50-50. It could have gone either way, and you wanted to see what happened.
Oh, I bit on the false finish. I totally bit on the false finish. I was like, I thought we were going to see a title change. So I guess I assume they're going to keep it on until Cody comes back for Mania. That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm thinking too. I know they said again they're saving Roman for The Rock. How many times have we heard it? It never happens. I'm not even.
Yeah, considering
I don't, especially since Black Adam is just he's probably gonna have to start Black Adam 2 because he's on a tight schedule. So I just don't see it happening. And
considering how many injuries he got wrestling Cena 5 years ago, 6 years ago, he's 6 years older now. And he's got so many movie studios that are going to be like, no, you are not.
Yeah, they're going to put that insurance policy on him real quick.
Absolutely not. I should try to make a wrestling reference there, because I'm sure that there was someone called the insurance policy. I think Tyson Tomko was the Christian Cade's insurance policy, but that's going way back.
I forgot about him.
Yeah. My brain is 98% useless wrestling knowledge, and then 2% action figures, and that's about it.
Yeah. The Ruthless Aggression era, that time was so much fun to watch, because you had a lot of innovative matches, man. You had Eddie Guerrero, who's one of my favorites, just doing things. Probably my favorite wrestler of all time. Him and Shawn Michaels. It's just Eddie Guerrero was doing things that ring psychology wise, you're like blown away.
And now we get to see his son on Raw every Monday night with Judgment Day.
Yeah. You sure about that? Rhea Ripley's making it look like
oh, dude,
that's his daddy.
I love the dynamic they have going on.
She's her
there.
daddy. Her puppy.
Are you an AEW person as well?
Oh yeah, man. I love wrestling.
Fantastic.
Dude.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Oh, this could be the start of a beautiful friendship right here.
Yeah, right. It was just like so. Oh man, freaking yeah, the whole CM Punk drama now.
Dude, that was crazy.
It's a bummer because I always rooted for him to come back, and it's like
me too.
He came back, and it's just like I thought it was gonna be better for AEW. And no,
just not so much. And I feel like, you know, I feel bad for Tony Khan just because, like, I think he's finally realizing that you can't be a boss and a friend at the same time.
He's got to stop. He's got to stop acting like a fanboy and really start acting like a CEO, man.
Because people, again, this is easy for me to say in my little bedroom, having not been there, but people don't respect him. Like, if CM Punk respected him, he wouldn't have, like, you know what? No one pointed out the worst thing that I think CM Punk actually said, which is CM Punk said that Hangman Page has not accomplished anything in this business. And it's like, that is your world champion. Like, so you're saying that winning the AEW world title doesn't mean anything.
Right, exactly.
I would have, if I was Tony Khan, I would have been freaking furious.
Yeah, man. I followed Hangman Page. I saw him here in North Carolina when Ring of Honor was here and he performed. Man, that guy was awesome, man. Like, he's friendly too. Got to, you know, chat with him for a bit, and you know, it's the dude has paid his dues.
Oh, 100%.
He's paid his dues. He earned that championship, and you're right. You know, no one pointed that out. He actually just disgraced the legitimacy of the company with its world title. Like, the world title is your legitimacy. Like, you know what I mean?
and CM Punk, like, he might as well have been like Alundra Blaze, just dropping it in the trash. He was like, this means nothing, you know. And that's not even like a kayfabe thing, saying like, you know, oh, but he won the title. No, but just being the champion, being the figurehead of this promotion. And he's like, nah. Doesn't mean shit. Basically, what he was saying was, until you've done anything in WWE, the real company, you haven't achieved anything. And it's like, wow. If I was Tony Khan, I'd be like, doors over there, pal. All right, you can go. You can go.
CM Punk shouldn't talk. Again, as much as I was, you know, I like CM Punk, he shouldn't talk about the worst of anything. As much as he claims to be best in the world, bro, you were the worst UFC fighter. So stop. You know what I mean?
Now the worst AEW world champion, you know?
Right? Oh, I saw this funny meme that was like, it's like history's repeating itself in the multiverse. In WWE, when CM Punk left, Daniel Bryan became world champion. In this AEW universe, Punk leaves and looks like Daniel Bryan might win the freaking world championship.
I want to make a meme of like CM Punk winning the title and then put Daniel Bryan's head on the picture of that guy like peeking out from behind a tree gun, just licking his lips, just like, oh, I'm next in line.
No, man. It was kind of dumb that he lost to Moxley just to win it back in such a short period. It was like
that made no sense. I don't know why. It made no sense, and it really sucks because like that's now another title reign in your lineage, and it just makes it look so messy. And of course, they didn't know that CM Punk would then be dropping it and then making another title reign. But you know, that was one of the coolest things about AEW when they first started, was the nice, long, prestigious title reigns.
Yeah, you gotta have
a good interim thing as well. It's such a mess.
Like, to me, it's more important. What is it? Because, you know, it was important for him to win the world title in front of his hometown. To me, it's more important to defend it, because it's for them, again, winning it.
Yeah.
All right, you know, that's probably the easiest thing, but defending it is going to be the hardest thing, and like defending it and winning it and retaining in your hometown.
Yeah.
That to me speaks more volumes than winning it in your hometown.
Absolutely.
For a short reign. Like,
and also like it would have been like winning it anyway, because it's champion versus champion. So you're still like, you are kind of, you're winning your right as, as champion. It's the same thing. It was completely pointless. Completely pointless. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why they thought it kind of reminded me, although at least WWE sort of had a reason for doing it. It reminded me of Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle before WrestleMania 19. Where they had like the fake match beforehand, because everyone was like, "Oh, Kurt's not going to be able to do it." That's what we were all thinking about Punk. We were like, "Oh, well, maybe he's not good to go." And it's like, "No, he is." And it's like, "Well, then why?"
I like that match, man. Brock, when he did that shooting star press, man, it sucks that he botched it, but it just showed his ability of what he can do. Which he was using that move, before, like I know in developmental system, that was one of his finishers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
I mean, Brock, man, he should have called an audible to himself and just like done a big splash or something, because Kurt was halfway across the ring. It wasn't even
way too far.
It's not like Brock was too tired. He slipped or anything. It was like
kind of
no
Kurt
physical
Angle's
human
fault too,
being
because
could
he should have picked.
Yeah, totally.
Kind of Kurt Angle's fault, because again, in wrestling, the goal is to make each other look good, right? He should have known, like, damn, he's not gonna reach. Or maybe he was really afraid to get freaking shooting star splashed on by a 300-pound dude.
Man, and again, it's easy for us to criticize here, but that's why we do it. But yeah, and in hindsight, I would have got up to that top rope and been like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to turn this into a Randy Savage elbow. I'm not going to do a backflip and try and hit that. But hey, this dude's still going today. So
exactly, man. And I think Kurt Angle had a good run in TNA, rejuvenating himself.
That was crazy. Yeah.
And I like to see that when wrestlers get to do that. Obviously, we saw it with Drew McIntyre, when he went back to Drew Galloway, and, that, and that's why I was hoping for kind of like CM Punk in AEW, rejuvenate himself and stuff.
Honestly, it's funny. Like, a lot of people, people always say like, "Oh, AEW picks up all the old WWE guys," but to be honest, like, I can't think of many WWE guys who have really had that rejuvenation. Moxley is the main one, I think. But besides that, I don't think there's any WWE guys who have really been like had that reinvention that they should have had.
Because even if when Randy Orton was a free agent, if he went to AEW, let's just say, I know he's a WWE guy for life, but let's just say if he did, what do he has to prove? Like, even in WWE, he doesn't have anything else to prove. I mean, if he goes to AEW, what do he has to prove? I mean, he's still he doesn't need to rejuvenate himself. Randy Orton is still awesome.
He's doing great. Slowly walk to the ring, then do your sequence.
He was getting so over, man, before he left. Him and Matt Riddle was just man, they were so over. Orton knows how to connect with the crowd, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's old school. He's an old school pro, and definitely I guarantee he's going to be a WWE lifer, because he's
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, oh yeah, because I don't think he cares about changing promotion so that he can go and have 5-star Meltzer matches. He doesn't care. He's making his money. He don't care about nothing. I kind of respect that.
Meltzer. That's not
7 stars,
Meltzer.
baby. 7 stars.
But yeah, man, it's interesting to see that a year ago from today, everyone was miserable in the WWE locker room and happy in AEW, and now look, what a difference a year makes. Yeah, everyone's miserable in AEW now. People are happy in WWE.
It's so interesting.
And Triple H taking over, people legit. I watched wrestlers comment they would kill for Triple H. Those that worked with him, because he's for them. He's for the wrestlers.
Yeah, because and that's one thing that's interesting about Triple H, is that he obviously was a wrestler, so he's one of the boys, but also the reason he's a good successful CEO is because even though he was one of the boys, he was never one of the boys. He was the designated driver in the clique. He was always more minded towards long-term success. So that's why this just works so perfectly. Like, I just heard that Survivor Series, it's going to be War Games. I'm like, boom. Thank you, sir. Yeah,
right. I know, because oh my god, NXT 2.0. It looks like they're gonna go back to the black and gold. So they needed that. So because man, when Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon took over, and you had Mandy Rose beat Raquel Gonzalez for the championship, I was just like, that's not believable for me. And she's still champion when unifying the title. I'm just like. And I know Shawn Michaels running in. I love Shawn Michaels. He's one of my favorites. But he also has that Vince McMahon mentality. You got to be careful. Because who was he around all the time?
Exactly.
Vince McMahon. So it's going to be like, oh, young hot girl, champion. Where Triple H sees the talent. Like, I hope Triple H... I'm sure he'll be there to keep him in check.
It's Sean. You can take the kid out of the heartbreak, but you can't take the heartbreak out of the kid. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
dude, I'm just doing what works. Such a stud, right? Heartthrob, and man, has he aged.
Dude, he's got some city miles on him. He's got some big time city miles.
Had to be the drugs that caught up, man. Had to be the drugs that caught up.
Dude, it was funny. Are you familiar at all with the YouTube show or channel OSW Review, Old School Wrestling Review?
Not sure.
It's fantastic. Three Irish lads chronologically critique pro wrestling, and it's wonderful. Check out OSW, because they're so freaking funny. But one of them, they did a review of the Marine with Shawn Michaels, and they got to go on set for part of the day, and they were talking about what it was like meeting Shawn Michaels and stuff. And one of them just said when they met Shawn Michaels, he was in full on like makeup, like all beaten up and whatnot. He walks up, and one of them was just like, "Bloody hell, Shawn, you've seen better days." And I think he's like, I don't think Shawn realized like that I was referring to his makeup. He thought I was just like, "Man, you look rough." Poor guy.
Oh man, yeah. But I just didn't agree with that choice with Mandy Rose beating Raquel Gonzalez, even unifying the titles. I'm just like, oh man. I feel like the women's division has taken a toll in NXT, and obviously, and then AEW too. They need help with their women's division. Like that interim women's champ is like, that's stupid. You either have a women's champion or you don't. There is no interim.
Interim's pointless. I love the fact that when Moxley was interim champion, he was like, "No, I'm the champion." And the same with like William Regal. They were like, "Oh, it's John Moxley, interim champion." He's like, "No, he's the world champion." Like, is there anyone else here who's world champion? No.
Exactly. It's like when you have a concussion. Like I had them in the past. Oh, Doc, you have a mild concussion. Mild? No, I either have one or I don't. Yeah. So in this case, I'm saying I have one.
Yeah, it's got to be all or nothing, because again, you're messing up your own lineages. It's silly, and yeah, there's so much great female talent in AEW talent in general. There's so many people who they just don't use so much, and like I love it. Then I'll watch Dark occasionally, and you got like Willow Nightingale. She's fantastic. She's so good. You got Penelope Ford. I love Penelope. They got so many people, and yet we just see Britt Baker and Toni Storm, and just recycling the same people over and over again. It's
right,
like, come on, guys, pick it up.
And like the fact that Ember Moon, or Athena now, whatever she's going by now, couldn't beat Jade Cargill. I'm like, man, what are they doing? Who's gonna beat this girl now? Like, why are they booking her to be such an unstoppable like monster? Because I thought Athena would be the one to dethrone her, and I'm just like,
man, honestly,
there's just sometimes when a reign is too long, like Roman Reigns, like I just hope it doesn't come to the point where like, okay, the reign is too long. You know what I mean? Like it gets.
There's a limit for everything.
It causes that fatigue, because like, okay, how long are we gonna see the bloodline do the same thing over and over again?
Yeah.
When it gets redundant, it's just like the reign loses stale, and I'd rather have it end on a good note than
when it's still got some momentum.
Dwindles down and stale. Yeah,
always leave the audience wanting more. You know that's something really important. That's something I'm trying to like sort of work out with my YouTube channel as well. It's like oversaturation. That's something I'm kind of like trying to figure out, because it's so funny, because like you have peaks and troughs of like subscribers and seeing your numbers go up. And, for a while there, like in the good old days, I was getting like 100 a day. I was like, yeah, baby, life is good. And then it started to slow down. And the last few months, like it's been like real bad, but not bad,
Right.
but like, 2 up, 1 down. And I was like, what can I do to shake things up? And I started putting out much more content. And then like the numbers were going down even more. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, is it too much? It's so hard to know.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot, man. And like you said, like, yeah, you just never know. The one good thing about you that I like about your channel is that you're very engaging. And to me, that is the most important thing. That's what I learned early on, is that engaging is the most important thing. Always make sure you have your attention getters to like, not, I don't want to say, we always have good intentions, right? It's not like I want to say like, oh, well, what I'm going to say to get them talking. It's not like that. It's more like, I want to talk to you because I want to talk to you, not to say something that, just to get you talking, because I don't want to talk to you or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like the engagement is very important, because the more comments you get, the YouTube algorithm picks up, and
totally,
it starts recommending your post to other to a wider audience, and that's what's going to give it exposure. And the more it's not funny. Just your viewers keep talking, but you talk as well. I always try to respond to as many comments as I can. I'm sorry, you're gonna say something?
Oh no, just I've got to admit, when I first started out, and I was like, how can I like start growing this channel? This is when we were in like double-digit subscribers and stuff. I would intentionally make mistakes when I was talking about characters, just to get people in the comments going, actually, this character debuted in issue number 68 or whatever. I'm like, oh, is that the case? And they're like, yes, that is the case. And all of a sudden the comments blow up. And it's like, thank you very much. So now if I ever make a mistake, it's not a mistake. I did that intentionally to get the comments. Okay, just FYI. All right.
Yeah. To me, that's like the most important thing, because like without our viewers, without the comments, what are we? Because the most disrespectful thing you could do is not leave a comment, because then it's just like, man, my video wasn't informative enough or engaging enough to make you want to conversate with me, or you know what I mean? Like,
totally. No, I mean, I've got to admit, like that's what I was talking about before, like the dopamine feedback loop. Like if I wasn't getting those comments and having that conversation and just making that sort of community, I wouldn't have that drive to put out more content, because I do it because I want to continue that conversation, especially if you've been making a video for a week and you've been thinking about this thing constantly when you've been working on it. You want to see everyone else's opinions come back.
And man, and that's one of the things I like, is that hearing different people's opinion, whether I disagree with them or not. Because I like to look at different perspectives. Like, okay, let me put myself in his shoes and try to see how he feels. Obviously, when it's respectful. If it's disrespectful, then no.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
But it's always cool to get those new perspectives, and again, it's just like it's always. I like the way I look at it is like, I look at it as like, these guys are my friends, right?
Yeah,
we're gonna talk. So like, let's chat, man. This is figures. Let's have a good time. You don't like the figure? Damn, that sucks. What? At least can you tell me what you like about the figure? Like, And if it's trash, well, I'm sorry, man. And this conversation is just not going to continue any further. I mean, you're just
we'll have to agree to disagree. Yeah,
exactly. But it's just cool to really like engage and have fun. And then when they even like they hit you up privately, like on Instagram, like a DM and stuff, like, and start talking that way, and like you reach out to me, and then I like that's kind of personable, like, you know what I mean?
Totally.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, well, you took the time to reach out to me, you don't have to do that, and I'm gonna respond, you know. Sorry for those that I couldn't respond because like I get so many DMs.
Yeah.
I
always feel bad for that. Like I try, but like because you'll get messages because again you make yourself available, but then you get messages like, hey, should I buy Firestar or Nova? And I'm like, I don't know, dog. What do you collect? I don't know. I can't engage that much. You know, I try, but there's only so many hours
don't
in the
do
day.
that. I remember one time because when I did do that, and this was early on, they were mad with their purchase and they pointed the finger at me as if like it was my fault. I told them to pick that and they weren't happy with it. That's why I don't like to tell people what to buy anymore. So I just say it's up to you. It's up to you because I'm just
follow your heart, man. Follow your heart.
Exactly. Like I'm not gonna tell you to buy, this or that. You gotta make that choice on your own. It's just like, how we do. Are we gonna back this Hazlab or are we not? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think with regards to that, man, we really put the world to rights on that Hazlab. I still don't know what I'm gonna do come October 31st, but it's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, I did back it. You know what I mean? So we'll see what additional tiers are there because for the most part, I'm still like happy with the offering because it looks like a lot. It is a lot. Is it 350 worth? No, I don't think so. But I'm invested in this line. I love this line.
Absolutely. I mean, you that's your thing. That's what we do. If some random dude on the street walks up to me and goes, "Hey, should I get that Hazlab?" I'd be like, "No," But if you are a Marvel Legends collector and you freaking love this business, then I sound like the rest of that. We love this business. If you love this business, then you got to get that Hazlab.
I think people already know, like okay, they understand why I would get it. Like I don't think I have to explain it, right?
Absolutely.
Except for those that tell me, don't you dare buy this Hazlab XManny. Don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do. I don't tell you what to do.
That
so don't
guarantees tell me what to do. I'm gonna buy it if you tell me. So fun.
But like for me, I just can't. Like I want that in my collection, and I don't want to regret if I do pass it. And I'm like, oh man. Seeing everyone else get it, and I'm like, oh man, I really want it. And then I look at the aftermarket price, $700, $800. No, man, like,
well, that's it. It's way better if you're on the fence. It was funny. One of my videos that blew up when I first started was the top 10 mistakes that collectors make, which is probably rich being made by a new collector. But there you go. But one of them was, if you're on the fence and you have the money, do it because you'll only you can always sell it afterwards. Right. And so that's it. So I think I probably will do because I'll always sell it afterwards. If anything, it's a good way of saving $350. In a year's time, you can cash that back, and then some.
Pretty much. I guess I don't know, Dave. What do you like? I guess name 3 things you like about the Hazlab, like why you would back it. 3 reasons why you wouldn't back it.
Okay, dude, that's put me on the spot there, and that's tough. But first of all, dude, just like it's an easy one, but it's so striking, man. It's so pretty. That translucent plastic with the light inside. It's going to be glowing. You could turn off your lights. That's a little night light you got there. That's beautiful. I switched that on when I go to bed. I'm going to sleep like a baby.
It's got more light functions too. So I believe one of them has like a pulsating kind of crackle effect.
Well, Dude,
that's gonna be like a relaxing like night lamp for me.
Right? I don't know. Next time I'm romancing a Fraulein round at Casa del Model Behavior, I'll be like, "Excuse me one moment, lady. I've been really trying, baby."
One time I had a British girl and she asked me, "You fancy a shag?" I didn't know what that means, and I'm just like, "What does that mean?" And then when she told me, I was like, "Oh."
She was like, "Let me show you."
Exactly. And I was like, "Yes, I agree. Let's go."
Yes, I would
It
love
was
a
just
shag.
funny
Thank
the
you
way
very much.
it's just funny the way you guys say things sometimes. It was
Oh,
just like,
we talk funny, but we
oh,
did
all right, let's shag.
So there you go. The main selling point for the Hazlab is the shagging light. So there you go.
The shagging light. We're gonna
the
call it that
shagging
from now on,
light.
the shagging light.
Yeah, there you go. So we got that.
Like that
Maybe
romantic
pipe in some
song.
Marvin Gaye or something on there as well. Let's get it on.
I've been feeling fine.
We are all sensitive people with
Yeah.
so much to give.
The car secretly has a Bluetooth connection, and you can just play the music. Doesn't have sound effects or anything, but you play your music.
Man, that would be a nice little selling point right there. Okay. So yeah, shagging lights is the main thing. The second one, and this is super simple, just for us as what we do in this business. In this industry, where you're going to be doing the reviews. You want to be a part. It's the business. It's what we do. In a year's time, Hazlab's going to come out. People are going to say, "Hey, Dave, when's your Hazlab review going to be up?" I don't want to look like a schmuck saying, "Oh yeah, even though I'm a Marvel Legends reviewer, I didn't get it." Nah.
Yeah, you kind of feel the peer pressure from the viewers in a weird way, right? Like, when are you going to review this? When are you going to review that? It's like,
dude, I'm so susceptible to peer pressure, in a big way.
I'm like, man, I'm overloaded on this plastic crack right now. You're giving me more. Like, I'm foaming at the mouth already. You're not helping my rehab.
The funny thing is, I'm terrible because massively susceptible to peer pressure, but then it's always from two different sides. Like if I say I'm gonna get the Hazlab, it's like, oh, you are a Hasbro shill. You'll buy anything, you sheep. And it's like, geez. And if I say, I don't like it, it's not for me. Oh, you complain about everything. Nothing's ever good enough for you. It's so I'm like, oh.
One thing I learned about YouTube, you'll agree. Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Dude, it's so true, man.
There's never a win-win.
Again, mind your feet while I drop the name, but I was chatting with Shardamus Prime the other day, and it was the same thing. He was saying, man, you can't win. You can't win.
No, you can't. A shill is the most overused word. It's already played out. And when someone tries to label that on me, I'm just going to make you look stupid. Because one, I even told you, I have a partnership with Hasbro. You know, they pay me for some, for some of the photo shoots, the PostCon exclusive Old Man Logan and Charles Xavier, right. I did that, and I let you know, I literally let you know that I have a partnership with them. Mm-hmm. The definition of a shill is basically someone who has a secret partnership that gets paid behind the scenes and tries to sell the product to a wide audience, not letting them know about the relationship under the table or anything. So I let it out there. I let them know, and you know what? I'm honest, but that's just me. When I call them out and stuff, they don't want to send me a review. Okay, that fine.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get my own regardless. Some people ask me, man, Hasbro should send you something and stuff like that. Like, it's not up to me, it's up to Ryan and Dan, and that's marketing, right? If they don't want to send me anything, they don't. Okay, no hard feelings. I kind of felt a certain way because of what I did for the line for so long, standing by it. And I guess, it's just the first time I'm actually talking about it, right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Best to be on your channel. It's just I did feel a certain type of way, being honest with you. I did feel a certain type of way because I did so much to put their, promote their products and stuff, even when I wasn't getting paid by them for the product shots. That I would feel at least that they would you send me something, a review, as a sort of a thank you, even if it was just one time. Mm-hmm. And I remember I had an interview with them not too long ago, back in April or something, and I even asked Dan right in front of him, like, hey, is there anything you want to reveal on my channel, or for the first time some people don't know about or whatever. It was just no, not even acknowledging that maybe I would get something in the near future or anything like that. So I kind of I guess I came to peace with it. I'm never going to get sent something. And that's okay. You know, I'm not gonna go up to them and beg them for a review like some people do.
Yeah.
You know, go straight to them. Oh, can you please, you know, give me a review to do this? Because I was like, you know what, I did that once before. I said that once before, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that again on my channel. But I wouldn't directly go to them and tell them like, you know, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, can you give me something to review? I don't want to look like a beggar, dude. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, because then you only, you just then sort of get a bad reputation from communities, and like you want to be just sort of true to yourself. It's really funny because like I've never been given a reveal or anything, and people are sweet enough and kind enough to say like, oh man, I really like your channel because you don't pander and you don't do the reveals and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, thanks very much. And I was like, but if they offered it, I would absolutely do it. It's like, it's very easy. It's very easy to be that guy who doesn't sell out when no one's asking you to sell out.
Right. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, I would never say that they bought my channel or anything, because I started this way before. This way before, you know, any kind of offer from them, and I always collected Marvel Legends way before, like I told you, since 2002.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's like
this channel was built on Marvel Legends.
Yeah, I think to me a real sellout would be like if my channel was built on Marvel Legends, so I'm not a sellout because that's my bread and butter. My first review ever was a Marvel Legend, so it's just like I think a real sellout would, if I was reviewing something else, like if my channel was built on Mezco or something like that, and then just went straight to Hasbro, then okay, you know what I mean? But
no, I think like genuinely, and again, it's so easy to say this without being offered anything, but I'll say it anyway, so you can believe it or not. But like, I would feel really awkward if no, I've got the perfect example. I have been given things before by a company that I don't want to name because I don't want to like call them out. But they gave me a free statue, and they were like, "Will you review this on your channel?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And when it arrived in the mail, I took it out, boom, broke. And I was like, but I could have disguised it. I could have very easily disguised it and done the review. But instead, I emailed them. I was like, guys, I'll do this review if you want me to do it. But I'll be honest, like I'll have to say that it broke, you know, like so actually, yeah, they said, funnily enough, they actually said, you know what, don't worry, we'll send you a replacement and all that kind of thing. But ultimately, I just didn't do the review because I was like, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying like, this is great. And in the back of my mind going, but it might break. You know? I can't do that. I've got to be honest. So no, I could have had a hookup with some badass like statues and stuff. But I was like, nah, I can't. It's not me. It's not me.
Yeah, it's tough to be put in that kind of like position, but you got to be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? Because you're just like, because you know, if they were to send me something, whoever, it doesn't have to be Hasbro, and I get it and something breaks, and I'm just gonna be like straight up like, this review isn't gonna work out for either of us. So you either send me a replacement or you know, I'm gonna let everyone know that this broke on me.
And I'd be a little dubious with the Hasbro ones as well, because you don't, I'm guessing you don't always know in what form the figure is going to be released, because obviously they did the individual reveals for like the Wolverine 5-pack figures, and then they announced they were part of a 5-pack. So like, you know, if I got the individual figure, I would have been like, oh yeah, this is really, really great. And then afterwards I'm like, oh yeah, it comes as part of a 5-pack. And I've been like, whoa, I would have mentioned that.
Which they don't. I think they keep those disclaimers, like they just give you like a little like a card just saying like, hey, this is, you can't say this, or they, you know, they leave the details out, but you could say this and this, and you just gotta. I don't like reviewing blindly like that. I like to let people know what.
Yeah, because your channel is very similar to mine in that, you know, reviews are not just the facts of the figure. It's what you're feeling, what you're going into. It's the personality about, you know, how you feel about this. You're not just blankly critiquing this thing in a vacuum. So yeah, it's tough to do. It's tough to do. Yeah, I suppose the
but-
only way to find out if I could do it successfully would be if Hasbro were to offer me a reveal. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think they're gonna be real picky. Right? I think they will be real picky with us, just because the way we've been like lately. Like, wait, this doesn't have paint.
Hey, wild card, baby.
Yeah, I know, man. Like,
do you want to go for a safe thing, or do you want to go for a wild card?
yeah. I'm not. You send me a figure with no accessories. No, that's not gonna work out for you. I think if they watch my channel, I think they would know what to send me if they want to send me something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're not gonna give me freaking Speedball and let me praise the crap out of that. You know what I mean? Because not having accessories, literally his name, his power set is in the name Speedball.
Yeah, that was an egregious one. That was when I was like, and again, like I'll do a review about a character like that, and people will say like, "Oh man, you're so negative and down on Marvel Legends now," and I'm like, "No, I'm not. That's
no,
a
just
genuine complaint.
You gotta call it out. Like, I dogged the Iron Spider review because of the mismatched color tones. It was unacceptable. The freaking the Waldos not being painted in a metallic gold.
Yeah,
for $33.99 US. That's unacceptable, man. Because I even called it out. I took out Mattel Masterverse, and I don't know if you know He-Man like that, but
yeah.
$29.99. I got a King Grayskull figure with fabric wired cape.
Dude,
and
right?
$20.99 for Beastman with soft goods for
that Beastman looks amazing.
Sculpt, more soft goods on his whiplash is like a real rope. Mattel showing you up, Hasbro, and that's why I gotta say, like, there's no way I can go in that review and tell people, yeah, this is how you get your $33.99 worth. No, because I gotta point out, if there's another product that's cheaper and you get more bang for your buck, I gotta point that out. You got Mattel showing you up, man. Mattel, the king of Barbies, did a fabric wired posable cape before a Marvel Legends. Like Marvel Legends was always looked at as Hasbro's like 6-inch line, like their like their, I don't want to say, I guess gold standard, let's just say, but now
it was and should be.
It was, right, and it still should be until lines like G.I. Joe and Fortnite came out with more articulation and more unique scopes. That is, again, they're being shown up even by their own fellow peers.
Yeah, that's just like, dude, this is the same company here. That's what's amazing. That's what's crazy.
Exactly. So
yeah,
I
wonder sometimes if the Legends office can like knock on the door of the GI Joes and like, guys, could you just like just tone it down a little bit?
Right.
Could you not?
Yeah.
Like,
how many years that we had to go through Pizza Spider-Man molds?
Right.
For like Spider-Man, I feel like that's the one character that should always stay innovative, always stay fresh.
Yeah. I mean, they finally have that now. That renew your vows.
I feel like I feel like the past 2 years, okay, we got the retro Spider-Man body, the renew your vows with the toe articulation. Yeah, I know we got toe articulation years ago with Toy Biz. I get it. But I mean, still keeping it fresh because we haven't gotten it in a long time. And then the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, dude, I love that figure so much.
Yeah, people have been. I was so not interested in that, and I've heard so many people saying really good things about it. And I'm like,
I love it.
Maybe
cheaper than the Iron Spider, and I feel like you got your money's worth more out of that. Like normally he comes with 3 sets of interchangeable hands, right? The fist, the thwips, and the wall crawling hands. But they actually gave him gripping hands.
Actual holdy hands, man.
To hold those web strands that they used to put on Spider-Man figures. Like, okay, web strands. What am I gonna do with it? I can't hold it. You didn't give me a hand for him to hold it. And they finally gave him that. They got him the web cape, web gliders, whatever, 2 different ones. Yeah, I felt like it was worth it.
Man, gosh, you might have sold me on that one, because I keep walking past him in the store and I'm like, maybe he'd look good with the classic villains. We'll see.
Yeah,
I might treat myself.
He didn't have the toe articulation.
Yes.
But do I have them on? Yeah, I do have them, man. And I got the renew your vows. So if I don't think. Oh wait, does the foot size look the same to you? Because I'm thinking about swapping.
It looks close enough. I think the articulated one is longer because of what's going on with it.
Oh, hold on. I think I got it heel to heel.
Yeah,
I think it was about the same size.
I mean, you could swap them and it wouldn't look weird.
All right,
I
I hope not. If the red is the same.
That's hard to tell. I mean, you got the lights. It's hard to tell with the lights, but it might be. It might be.
It looks honestly, it looks the same. I think it could work, man. So that's why I'm thinking about getting an extra one of the Renew Your Vows, which I intended to get an extra one because I'm gonna beat the crap out of this one posing wise, and then another one of this to try that because that I felt like that's all this one was missing when I put them in a crouching pose, and I'm just like that toe joint would
just. I never ever thought that I would care about toe articulation until I got Renew Your Vows, and I was like, oh, dude, this is a game changer.
Me too.
So much more natural.
I was never crazy about toe articulation, especially since I had some that broke on me. So I'm like, okay, one less joint I have to worry about being broken, right? but
it's like when I see him in a swinging like flight stand pose now, and the feet are just turned down a little bit more. Like it looks so much more real. It really does.
I think the aesthetics on this looks great, and I pointed it out in my review. Like, the Pizza Spider-Man, when you looked at it on the side, the girth was terrible because it was it looked like anorexic, and the hips were bulging out, bro. Like it was so bad where look, everything's just flush,
Yeah, you see, that's fantastic. And again, you see that's what happens when we get a product from Hasbro that we like. We'll gush over it. We'll say how good it is because it is. It's freaking joyous to be able to talk about how much you love something.
And this makes me want to get the this really makes me. I will get the Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man, His Amazing Friends 3-pack.
Yes,
because it's the same as this, but in the blue.
So the bright cartoon blue. That's gonna look lovely.
I know, and now I'm gonna be all over that because I love this one. The only thing is that he has the little gaps right there, the holes for the gliders, and I looked at those product images. It's using the same arms, and he doesn't have the wing gliders to.
Okay.
Yeah,
they could have swapped the old biceps on that one, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe use the pinless arms from this one.
I mean, that would have been even better. Although I'm not sure if maybe he would have looked like too big in the arms, It's hard to say. Are they about similar though?
They look, they look the same to me. They look fine. Hold on.
Oh, there you go.
It's tricky to get that camera, but yeah, you see that?
There you go. Hasbro, there's still time. Back to the drawing board. You haven't released it yet. Whack those arms on.
Right. Because now, you're going to get that. All right. It's not so bad because this is black, right? It's not that noticeable, right?
Yeah.
But that's
going to be bright blue.
And that's going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
So give him the wing gliders that he comes with and I cover that for now. But... not everyone wants the wing glider attachments to Spider-Man.
Well, that's it. It's very specific. That's very sort of specific old school kind of style. But that is the figure. I mean, it'll look great for him. But yeah, is it going to be a big negative for the 3-pack? Well, I guess we're going to find out when we watch your review whenever it comes out. So there you go.
Right. That Iceman I'm not thrilled about is I feel like they can never get Iceman right, dude. I feel like the one Iceman they got right is the Age of Apocalypse one.
Oh, dude, he's so good.
He was the blue was perfect.
Wham! Look at that. How's that for service?
Again, that's a new torso. They didn't even use that body base for this this Iceman.
Yeah,
for the
they went with the retro. No, they didn't. Yeah, it was retro, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, I think it's Pizza Spider-Man body, the one from the other Iceman from the Juggernaut wave.
Oh, really?
If you got a computer in front of you, you go to Hasbro Pulse, look that up. I'm not wrong, man.
No,
and if I'm wrong,
I'm sure, dude. I
don't mind.
As they say, if I'm lying, I'm dying. No, I'm sure that must be the case.
Trickled me out because they put cell shading on that figure, but cell shading is not on Spider-Man and Firestar. That throws the set off completely in terms of looking as one property. I feel like Well, the same. Oh, also going back to the Spider-Man, this same Spider-Man body will be reused for the retro Spider-Man animated series. That's a Walmart exclusive for us.
Oh, yes,
And it
yes, I
has
know
the
that one.
cell
Yes.
shading, so maybe they didn't want to put the cell shading on that pack on Spider-Man because of
Probably.
that.
Probably. See, that's what made me think it was the retro Iceman, because he's got the ice slide from the retro figure. But I mean,
Yeah, same
they might just
accessory.
thrown that in, I guess. I'm the worst person in the world at identifying action figure bodies, so I would definitely.
Yeah, the Iceman, I know a lot of people criticize that one. And I don't blame them because it's like we can never get like a proper classic Iceman.
Yeah,
And
it's
I think
tricky. I
he
mean,
looks too small. I believe in the series. I haven't seen the series in a long time, but I feel like he was bigger.
that may well have been the case. I vaguely remember that series, but I guess it wasn't on TV much when I was a kid. So that's why I didn't really go for this
I
box
like
set,
that he has the splayed out hands. You know, the splayed out
yeah,
fingers.
that's a really good touch for
But
Iceman.
not giving him ice effects, like blasting ice effects.
Yeah,
kind of hurts that.
missed opportunity.
Yeah, we need more ice effects for ice characters. I've been really fighting for that on my channel. Every time there's an ice character.
Yeah, there's a dude, Marvel Dad, I think is his Instagram name. I've spoken with him a few times, but he makes homemade custom ice slides, and just that dude, freaking exquisite.
Oh, yeah.
What
Some
he
people
does.
are just so good at that.
And like I've always, if I ever had like a few bucks spare to get one of those to go around my Sentinel with, like, oh, it looks so good. But one of these days, man, one of these days, we'll see, dude. Yep. I got to wrap this up.
That's cool.
It pays me to do it, man.
I know. But we can always do another one.
Dude, absolutely, man. I earmarked 30 minutes for this. We've been going for 2.5 hours. It's just been an absolute delight. It really has, man.
It's been a lot of fun, and just let me know next time you want to have me on the channel. Like I won't say no. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man. I tell you what, I'm gonna say goodbye to you now as like the show, but I'll keep you on the line. I'll say goodbye properly. But guys, thank you so much for watching this. It's been a pleasure as always, and until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Peace.